We're switching off the smoke alarms. Got lost, but I feel my way into your arms. Love how you creep into my wildest thoughts. Something about you, boy. Something about you, boy. We're only one kiss away, my body can't hit the brakes, one touch and it escalates out. The dirty talking, it turns to play. We're all out of things to say. It's too late, we can't escape out. Oh baby, we can't stop this fire. So when I beat the flames, I'm burning on down, 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 down. We can't stop this fire. We're like gasoline, we're pouring it down, down, down. We're only one kiss away, my body can't hit the brakes, one touch it escalates out. Oh baby, we can't stop this fire. There's something about your love,
all here?
Yeah, we in
Yeah.
here.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right, guys. That was a clean intro. Making
Indeed.
sure the chat room is up. Yeah, the chat room is up. So welcome to Real Waifu Hours. Well, VOA's Real Waifu Hours, episode two. Technically, it's really number 52, but we took about a year and a half hiatus, and we're coming back with an all brand new version of the original Real Waifu Hours, hosted by Evil Jagan, aka now King Jagan, aka Husbando Daddy, taking care of his child, real father type man Jagan. So we're taking over for him while he does his thing for his family and whatnot. So welcome back. We moved from Discord over to Streamlabs. What is this called? Talk Studio? Yeah,
Yeah, Talk
it's called Talk
Studio.
Studio. It's a little bit. It's more simplified, a lot like StreamYards. You get a link. People can come on. It's far more easier. You just log in, click the link, type it in, boom, you're in here, and so forth. So we're back with another episode. We had some technical difficulties that we had to flesh out before we just jumped on. And I'm glad that we're here and I'm glad everybody's here. Let me see something. Let me take a look at this chat options. Hey, peace on what's going on. So I don't even have to leave this room to see the chat. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Welcome to everybody from the WhatsApp room, the Discord. No, no, it's a WhatsApp group over.
Hmm.
Let me introduce to you our guests for tonight. We have obviously at the top, the left hand corner, we have Empress now. All of these ladies are from the Valkyries of Arcadia, so we don't have to go through the background. Then we also have Silver Echo, who's also back. And we have new to the podcast, we have Loch Ness, also, let me pronounce her name properly. Nastasia. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, it is. You got it.
Oh, finally. Oh, my goodness. So I thought I was going to butcher the name again. I'll call her Loch Ness for short. Her League of Legends name is Loch Ness Monster. I call her Loch Ness for short because she has locks, and her Nas is her short for her name. So there you go. Loch Ness. Here we are. All right, guys. Hey, what's going on? I'm Jay. What's up in the chat? We have a great show for you guys today. We got some topics that, oh boy, we're going to get into it. Absolutely. Nothing juicy this week or spicy, but we have some controversial topics that we definitely want to bring up. And the first one, I want to get this one out of the way because this one is kind of lengthy. And I want to talk about Spice School Tour. Yes, the Jamaican dancehall artist Spice had a school tour, right? But that school tour was ambushed by various churches in Jamaica because of her raunchy and risque music content. And before I even get into the question, let me give you the guys a backstory because it came up on nationwide radio here in Jamaica. Listen to this story. Advo- adv- Advocacies, yes, thank you. Advocacies officers for the Jamaica Coalition for Healthy um, Society, Philadelphia Davis, says dancehall artists cannot be two different people in the same body. That's what she says. One second, guys. Loch Ness is saying she can't see us. It's just, oh, you have to go to the stream to see us, Loch Ness. So you won't be able to see us right now. In fact, Neko, can you see now?
You can see from the Talk Studio tab.
Oh,
You can see.
she would
Oh,
have to look from.
I, I can see you guys now. I don't know why I couldn't see you before.
Oh, okay. Here we go. All right. So, pretty much this lady, what's her name again? Philadelphia Davis's. Yeah, now that's not Davis's, that's Davies. Says that the dancehall artist cannot be two different people in the same body. She was reacting to news about the cancellation of a school tour headlined by dancehall artist Spice. Spice's given name is Grace Hamilton, right? Sections of the church and other stakeholders have blasted the decision of some principals and the school board to approve of the tour. According to Miss Davies, Spice's lifestyle doesn't portray the message she's communicating, right? So she goes on to say, this is her quote. The Spice Ono School Tour is advertised to encourage students to normalize saying no to sex at an early age, drugs, crimes, and violence, alcohol abuse, and self doubt and procrastination. So far, Spice has posted videos on her social media of the tour with students at Ford High School and Alma Master St. Catherine High. Miss Davies says the problem lies within the messenger, not the message. That's wild. So, pretty much what she's saying is if Satan comes and says, although I have a problem with the Almighty Creator, God, you guys should still worship a God, then the message is, you shouldn't take the message because it's who said it. Anyway, with that being said, do you guys think it's right or fair for some of the churches to influence schools to pretty much sabotage her school tour based on Miss Davies' comments? You know what? In fact, we'll go with the new guest first. Lockness, we'll start with you. Your thoughts?
Okay, first of all, if she's not doing anything, if she's not up there spreading and clapping cheeks, then I don't see the problem because she still exists and she can exist that way to them. I really don't see the problem. If a child, a teenager who has access to the internet goes out of their way to search for a particular type of content, that's up to them. You really cannot stop them from doing that. So if they're going to use her past against her there, that's insane. And two, if right now she's making efforts to be a part of the community and to promote a type of connection with the youth that's actually helping them, I don't think people can just pop up and try to use her past against her. Was she using like overtly sexual lyrics and songs and stuff at those tours at the school?
I don't even know.
No, she's not using. First of all, on this tour, she's not performing whatsoever. She's just speaking to the students. She's modestly
Really?
dressed, and all of the promotional material that is used for the tour, she's not in any like sexy outfit or anything. Like none of it. The entire tour, so far from what I've seen as well, there's no. Everything there is modest, positive, and on the message at hand, on
Is
the
the
matter
lady
at
an
hand.
older lady? Is it an older lady than Spice?
I,
Well,
I
the lady Miss
why?
Davies or whatever her name is, she's I don't. What is she even representing? I don't think. I think she's someone from the school board. I think, but she was on nationwide '90s radio station. I think because that's
Sometimes
like a.
people use topics like this to
Mhm.
mask their inner darkness. Like she just had an opportunity now to lick out against Spice, and for a long time, she didn't like her. Or she's jealous of her, or something like that. Using this
Can I say something?
Yeah, man, go ahead. I
me at
want
this.
a slot to just release everything on my brain. So yeah, man, go ahead before I get there.
You know what I find really funny? All right, this is reverberating in me, and I can hear. So I'm just gonna put it up for a minute so I can talk clearly. All right, so 1 second. I just find it real funny that I know that as a country, we are a God fearing country, and majority, a good percentage, a very good percentage, a very high percentage of these schools are either supported by, run by, backed by, or in some involvement with churches. What is also funny is that majority of these churches or no, majority of these schools are the same schools that will have Fair Day, aka Fet Day,
Yeah.
and we all know Fair Day. We go dress up in our nice clothes and we go to the school, and then you have the infamous disco room where all of the songs are played,
Yep.
and the DJ mistakenly plays the dirty song
Yep.
and lets it rock. You know,
Every
mistakenly
time.
by accident,
Mistakenly, every time.
accidentally, and that has been the norm for a very long time. But they're the same adults that will say that, these entertainers XYZ, XYZ. There's no one here to speak to the youth. And here comes Grace Hamilton. She put away Spice and be like, I want to engage with the youth and tell them what they should do and what they should not do. And despite me being an entertainer for adults, however, children find her discography, whether it be in the coasters, which is people's problem, or their parents' phone or their own phone, because parental internet is just not being handled correctly in people's homes. So they like to blame people's upbringing on entertainers and adults. Besides that point, right? How is it that the one time that someone says, yes, I would like to speak to the youth about what they should do, it's not like it's somebody that is outside of them league. I remember the most randomest shit. Father Hulang was at my school talking about, I don't know what he was talking about, but I remember none of the classes gave a shit. No one cared. Eric, it was like he wasn't even there. But if I can guarantee, if Spice or I think Cartel donated 1 million to his school recently, if someone who they know, who they look up to, will come turn around and come to them and be like, hey kids, yo, stay in school, don't do drugs, XYZ, is that not good advice? Is that not them directly engaging with the youth?
Not only is it good advice, it's coming from people who have been in that lifestyle and experience to be able to feel the consequence of that wrong lifestyle, to then tell people, don't do this. I've been down that road. You don't want that. So I don't understand. Rather than hearing it from people who've never been down that road, you don't want to go down that road. Why? Trust me, it's not a good thing. Have you been down there? No.
Another point, right before I get Neko. Shit, I forgot. What was I saying? What were you saying a while ago?
About coming from someone of experience, and people who've experienced it.
It's one thing if these schools stand on business and be like, we don't want nothing. There's no fair day. There's no, what you call it, as the churches would call it, secular anything. We're all about the church. We're all about the kids. We're all about family-friendly entertainment, and we stay with that. We're not working with entertainment. We're not working with anybody from that scene. That's fine. So if they were to refuse Spice for that reason, that's fine, because they stand on that. But these schools that I'm seeing here, I have been to these schools, and I know what goes down in these schools. And for them to be doing those things, and then here is someone who is a part of something that they recognize, they refuse because of who it is. So if not her, then who? Someone that they don't care about? Hear me out?
That's why I think it's a personal grudge. I think it's just a personal grudge that she has the opportunity to now bring out, because it doesn't make sense. And you're in the business of education. You should at least be making sure what you're saying has a line of logic to it, and it doesn't seem to.
The whole thing is a mess, because one thing I've noticed about Jamaican society, specifically the conservative wing of Jamaican society, they are very much hypocritical. Because, and this applies not just to the scholastic system, to to the school system. This is something that y'all could probably, that we as the Valkyries as a brand can relate to as well, right? Because they love to play as if, oh no, the kids, but then no man, carnival is fine and everybody on the streets can see it and everything and all of that. Carnival is fine. But then y'all dressing this way in this context. No, it cannot work. Right? And then for this particular instance with Spice now, right? Wouldn't you prefer that she spread a positive message? We all know who Spice is, but she put out a song that is spreading a positive message and would like in turn to spread a positive message. It's coming from someone that they will listen to, as everybody has said here, right? And Spice has been very selective in how she has structured this tour. She has all of the branding, all of the marketing. She has made it family friendly, all of it, right? She could have not done that, but she did all of that, right? And then if we look at what her songs are mostly about sex and relationships and stuff like that. Yes, she has some positive ones as well, but the popular her popular songs are about sex and those things, right?
Hmm.
And I ratted I had a point and it gone.
Damn.
Right? But so her music in general caters to an adult audience, but she has put out a song about a specific positive message, and this is directed at the youth to make choices, to make smart choices in regards to certain things, right? So, in my opinion, they should let it rock. If it's a case where it's a school that's run by a church and them have very much churchly principles and them not deviate from that, them not do nothing, as Niall say, then fine. But for churches to go out of their way to try and block the tour, it's absolutely ridiculous. That don't make sense.
And then
And
fair day go happen
How many
regardless.
churches was it?
it was a particular, like, they got emails and basically threats from organizations telling them, don't do this, don't put this person on, and I'm like, why?
Well, can I jump in
Wait,
here for a second?
there's a particular thing I want to say actually
Okay.
before I lose it. um what I will commend is the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Entertainment, though, because Spice was able to get a meeting with both ministers on this issue. And so I'm like, thank you. Y'all did not let the church do some foolishness over nothing, right? Like, there's a time and place for the church to speak, right? I'm not saying the church cannot speak. I'm not saying that they don't have a place in society in some way, right? But in this particular instance where they're literally they're overstepping. Quite frankly, they're overstepping. And so I am glad that the education and the entertainment ministries have actually had consultations with Spice over this, so that we could probably be able to move forward accordingly, because them need to stop with the foolishness, man.
Before I get Marcia's point, there's a comment that was made in the chat. Um, Jay says I missed some context, so it looks like he has some information here. He said that I'm missing a small piece of context here. Where is it? Yeah. So apparently, in Spice's Zip 103 interview, she mentioned there was a specific pastor from the TBC. I don't know what that is. That said, shut it down. There was a particular pastor. And although that may be the case, I 100% agree with you, Neko. I think the church is overstepping their boundary, and here is why. I find it so funny that the church would jump up and use its power and its influence to shut down their school tour because of the wrong messages that can be displayed, that can be given to these students in this through this institution. Yet radio is an institution, and so is television. So where's the church to tell them not to put on certain content on television?
Exactly.
Where are they? They're silent.
They're also not doing that when kids are being posted up in their uniforms doing stuff, fighting and getting caught on videos doing other stuff. It has to be other people advocating for those things to be taken down, not the
Yeah.
church and not the school.
And the church is not around for those things, yet they
And
have
the
to
church is quiet when there's all sorts of violence and stuff. But all these little things come like, no, 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 no. They
It'd
be
be
focusing on
different
the wrong things, man.
if Spice was going as Spice. If she
Yeah.
was going to the school, skinning out her good, that'd be different. That'd be obvious. But the fact that, oh my God, I'm reverberating. The fact that she's literally spreading a good message that, as sadly enough, if the church is so hard against her why isn't the church doing that? Since they don't want her to do it, why don't you do it? You're gonna wait until the child feel like they want to go to church for them to hear the message, or you're gonna wait for the parents to the child? You're gonna wait for that to happen? What where are the initiatives yourself? Since you don't want Spice doing it, what are you doing?
They don't have that in their culture. The culture is to wait until the sin happens and then to judge.
Yeah.
All
There's
right,
no
let's get.
Them have to beat people
proactiveness.
with a book. What you mean?
So we all right, Marcy. Welcome to the Real White Hours podcast. All right, guys. Marcy was a guest last week. Your thoughts on the situation regarding the church and Spice?
I thought just a small portion of the situation.
You're coming in very low. Oh. There we go. Oh no, we can't hear
We
you.
can't hear you now.
You can hear me?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
now
we can hear you now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So I was saying that I saw just a small portion of her explaining her why, well, she was in a meeting explaining herself and like her influence on the kids. And I'm saying like, you guys are totally right because why step in now? She's literally not speaking anything, but she's actually making good points. And because she's also a person that the this generation can relate to, they can relate to her music, and so I feel like she using the platform to make these controversial issues known and like spin it in a way where promoting that these things like young women should avoid these things or young men should avoid these things. I feel like that's a very positive connotation in a sense where she's stepping up to make that change and letting like this generation know that hey, like this isn't something that you should be practicing. I think that's very admirable of her, but them shutting her down, like the people who are like, oh, because she's spy, because she did this before, because of what she stands for pre in her, in the past. Like, I just feel like that's so unfair. If
Not,
she's using her platform now to speak on something good, then why should they be shutting it down?
actually, I'm glad you brought that up because that brings in that. So I want to say something about the church because
Mm-hmm.
this is hypocrisy in its highest form, isn't it? Hasn't Christ said, "He who has not sinned, cast the first stone"? Isn't it the policy of the church not to judge others based on their past deeds, yet they're crucifying the messenger based on what? Past deeds. Hypocrisy in its
Yeah.
highest order. In its highest order. I just wanted to say that because I don't support a lot of these quote unquote churches of today. I think they're all full of it. But yeah.
A big stone a fling right now.
That lady that advocating for this, she'll be one of the people that hang Jesus if him come back. She'll be one of the people put up Jesus on the cross.
Yeah, these people are hypocrites. Like Niall said, it's one thing if she came out and she says, I'm going to go to the
That's
school
right.
tour
Yeah.
and I'm going to perform
As
skin
fine.
out your pum pum while giving out this message. That would just be completely
Confusion.
confusion right there.
Fine. Yeah.
But
Yep.
you can't. No, this is foolishness. This is
Yeah.
absolute foolishness right here.
Yeah.
But does anyone have any closing statements on this before we move on to the next subject? I really just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on these guys.
Yeah.
This is the thing that it's like damned if you do and damned if you
Then if
don't.
you don't, exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
wouldn't you rather she spread a positive message?
No, they'd rather her continue to spread the negative message because that'll get more people into their church so that they can get their tithings and then steal the money from quote unquote
And
Christ.
yeah, it'd be continue because the way that some of these preach, I'm not gonna say all, but the way how a good amount of them preach is, oh, you are just once you do this, you cannot be redeemed. You must be X, Y, and Z. Or never be like them, but they're making a positive change.
It's
No,
all,
but look at this now. Look at this. When Jesus was on the cross, what did he do for the what did the thief do? Repent. He repented right beside of Jesus. And Jesus
Did,
said, yeah, man,
but wasn't
come
there
into paradise.
there was a thief and a murderer on the cross, correct? And did he not forgive them both? If I'm correct, correct me if I'm wrong. Did
I
he
think
not?
they come to the teeth.
Same thing in
I
us.
don't
No,
Like
I
they
think it was the
It
want
was
thief.
just
these
the
people.
thief.
They want
It was-
these examples
The-
of
yeah.
caricatures of people to show in a negative light to justify their doctrine and
Mhm.
taking their money. That's all it is, and that is not the way to do it. Quite
Mhm.
frankly,
Well,
I'm glad they said that. I'm glad they said that.
it's
That
guess
not
makes
what?
sense.
because it's not about the people. It is
It's
it's really they need to be focusing on the individual actions, not the images of people that can easily change. People are not one note,
exactly,
right?
exactly. And really and truly, Spice puts on a show. Spice is a
Spice is a
performer.
dancehall artist.
She's a
What is expected
performer.
of dancehall? Like that is just,
But
and we
they
all
have
know
the
what it is.
ability to make different things, you know?
Well,
It
Exactly.
not
She's
only
yes,
that,
versatile regardless.
she,
they're
she's
very versatile.
she's a professional, and
She's very
our content is made for adults. It's one thing that she made the content, and then she was trying to shop that content to children. She's not trying to shop it to children. She shopped that content to adults.
Oh, speaking of
exactly.
which, there was this. Remember, oh my god, there was this one artist that had a very viral song. I don't know if y'all remember, but she had this viral song about vagina, and then she went to Spanish Down High, and she performed a piece of the song. And the minute she got to that part, the whole school started. I heard it actually. I'm like, what kind of choir going on out there? Not to justify now that it was that lady at the school performing the song, and the whole school was echoing. That is a no-no. Regardless if you are an entertainer, you are performing to children. I don't know if you remember when Neko and I went to the school tour, the release school tour, and Tifa, I think it was Tifa was there, and she was performing, and there was one song that she was about to perform, and she quickly said no, 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 no. So if you know your audience and you know what you're not going to do, and when you know what message you're trying to say, the fact that the church is going to shut her down. Okay, what are you doing? When is your campaign? When?
Mhm.
Well, before we close this out on this, there is something more to this. That I have two more parts to this, right? Because we already covered the hypocrisy part. What do you guys think about certain institutions and people of power having this gatekeeping power? They can determine who can come on and give a positive message and who can't. Here's an example. And I'm not bringing up these people's names because I disagree with them. It's not their fault that they've been given the green light and others have been given the red light. What I'm trying to showcase here is the hypocrisy of those who are the traffic, what do you call those guys, traffic officers? Yeah. The people who are the traffic officers. Who gave them the power to determine whether or not people like Shaggy and Sean Paul can get a go, but people like Spice and Cartel can't? And why? I'm sure that Shaggy has a couple of rude songs, and I'm sure I've heard some songs from Sean Paul. Although the lyrics may not be vulgar, the context of the content is very adult-like. But those guys can speak, so why can't Spice?
I have one.
Yeah, go on.
I honestly think it is because those particular artists advocate for ghetto people, and Shaggy has always had a more light skinned, a more lighter skinned appeal.
But
How,
wait, Tama, there's a difference between that though. Whether or not he has a more light-skinned audience, Shaggy has always appealed for Jamaicans, poor or rich. You have to understand, it's the institutions that create the narrative of, because Sean Paul is for Jamaican people. Period. Dark,
Yeah.
brown, white, whatever, it doesn't matter.
but
But
Cartel is for ghetto youths.
Yeah.
yeah, because
It's
he
just
come
the
from.
audience. It's the audience who you're trying to reach.
But
Who you're
hold
trying
on,
to reach
Tama.
out to.
And
But hold
ghetto
on.
people have always been more easily influenced by those
Doing
artists.
No. I have
no,
to.
wait.
I have to
Yeah,
kick back. I have to,
Inner
hold
cities,
on.
inner
Hold on.
cities.
Hold on.
Mm.
No, I have to
yes.
push back on that. If you ask Mick Jagger who's his favorite artist is, and they asked him, "Who's your favorite artist in the world?" He said, "World Boss, Cartel." And they was like, "Wait, what?" There was like, "Wait, what?" You have to understand. There's a big difference.
Mick Jagger.
Whichever one his name is,
No.
I forgot his name. Is it the old guy? I was surprised when they said Vibes Cartel. I was like, what is this? Is
I
this,
mean, the man is influential everywhere in the world.
the thing here is this:
Mhm.
we cannot mix up where we come from and what we represent versus reach, then
Mhm.
versus narrative. So although Cartel is from the ghetto and he speaks for the ghetto, his reach is global. Go
That's
to
true.
go to Italy and let them have a dance party and whatnot. There, dance hall is in Red Bull's breakdancing. There was
Yeah.
there was on
Yeah.
Facebook. They had Spice and Cartel's music pop up in the breakdance, and they incorporated the bogle and skin out yourself. It was a dude. That was kind of weird. But the point, yes, it
I
was
know the
weird.
video you're talking
You know
about.
the video I'm talking about. All right,
Good
cool.
lord.
So, but the point is, that's in Red Bull's break dancing. There were Asians in there doing the bogle. How do they know about that? How do they know about dancehall? Because that's how far dancehall reaches. Now, the institutions like the radio companies and the different corporations in Jamaica, who they're the ones who set the narrative of who belongs in what box. And that's the question I'm asking. Who gave them the power to put Cartel, Spice, Shaggy, or John Paul in what box they choose? Who gave them this power?
I think it's all
Hmm.
nepotism. They're all. What I realize with these either these we call them institutions. There's always a select few, like a 1%, that has been in power, in charge, in overseeing something for a very, very long time, and then they pass it on to their friend, and they make sure who they're passing whatever power on to has the same values as them. So you will find that every time only a select set of people are seemingly getting somewhere, and the other people who are coming in and who are trying, it's harder for them because majority of these 1%, they want to go with what works or with who them know. That's what I find a lot.
I think
Unless you make
that also keeps money in there. A lot of it is also money, you know.
Yeah.
Because if you keep going with who you know and keeping it within your network, that kind of
Yes. I was gonna touch
guarantees
on the
the money
network. The network
recycling
is
back
very
to you,
important.
right? And this is a problem in every single field, mind you. Um, so anybody who's on the come up or trying to get in to the industry, or even those who are up or who are already up in the industry, but not necessarily within the circles to get into certain to access certain media channels, right?
Mhm.
It's hard for those because they're like, we don't know you, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to make a money off of you. I don't know if you're going to screw me over. And you see, some of these things are justified, but this is what happens when a particular set of people are in power for too long. Sometimes when you have people in a particular position, because there's always going to be a level of bias that is going to be there, and that shouldn't be there. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have a certain level of quality control, yada yada yada, but a lot of the times it leans too far into people's biases and personal beliefs when it's business, and it shouldn't be that way,
all right.
right? It should
I
be more merit based, I guess.
then I have a question for you guys, right? Do you think Cartel should come and back up Spice?
Didn't he drop $1 million on his primary school or high school? Man dropped 1 million as a donation,
I think he
and they
should come.
gracefully and so did Spice. I think she dropped $1 million at St. Catherine High.
I think Cartel should take proceeds from his tour and go give it to the very schools that accepted Spice.
On some petty shit.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, yeah.
the schools that cancel Spice, Let them sit there and ponder that the next time the church comes and tell them you shouldn't bring this person on. Because at the end of the day, it looks like money is
Money
what,
is really money talks. As much as we, as much as people love to be high and mighty, at the end of the day, money really does talk. And as I said, one of the big examples is Carnival. As much as Carnival is Caribbean culture, we know that Carnival is still very much skimpy outfits and carrying on
Mhm.
and all of that, right?
yeah,
And
Eating
the
out.
church,
Don't
the
even.
church will turn a blind eye to Carnival and even come to Carnival to help spread the word because we
in,
were there and there was a church group there giving out
Big up to
water,
them.
in
right?
fact,
That's how
Were
you
they
witness.
were they dressed up?
No,
No,
they
they were
were they
just
were
in
they were in
regular
their
clothes.
regular clothes, but they were there handing out water and the water had the gospel and whatever.
which
But I
I
mean, they
find
were being nice and stuff.
funny because corporate Jamaica claims that they want to be wholesome and family, and then
That
they
is
don't.
true.
Yeah,
Corporate
Until
Jamaica
yeah.
will
Carnival.
tell you,
Hold
"Oh,
on.
your
Right,
image is too adult-like, or
Uh,
y'all need to fix your image before we work with you." But then drop millions of dollars on Carnival to put their logo on a truck. Does
like
that make sense?
like Burger King, KFC,
Oh, we're dropping?
Pizza
We name
Hut,
dropping?
Pizza Hut,
and so many other. I'm just putting it out there. Like I don't understand.
yeah,
You have to
straight up.
understand. You can't blame. You know why I don't necessarily blame some of these companies because let me put this out there. It's a caveat. A lot of these. So from a corporate standpoint, you have to
Mm-hmm.
understand. You have people who misrepresent the corporate communication. You have public relations. People who are misrepresenting the company.
Mm-hmm.
Because watch this. I'm going to give you an example between the company and the person representing as a spokesperson. You can have a person in a company, Krispy Kreme. I'm just throwing a name out there. Not saying Krispy Kreme does this. I'm just let me not use Krispy Kreme. Let me use someone that's more expendable. Starbucks, right? Starbucks, right?
Damn.
Whatever happens, it doesn't matter because we all know what it is. All right, so
Oh, damn.
Starbucks, all right, that was just one. But Starbucks now is they'll have a representative from its corporate entity come out and say, we want to make sure that the people that we work with align with the family blah 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 of the Starbucks brand, but then go out and sponsor Carnival. Not that they do, I'm just giving an example,
Mhm.
but then they'll let Carnival rock, right? Let's say somebody comes and says, but how come you don't want to wear these how come you don't want to support the Valkyries?
Oh,
Well, because you guys are a little bit too risque with your bathing suit content, modeling actual bathing suits. But wait a minute, the stuff that they wear at Carnival is just as, if not riskier than what we wear at the beach, which is normal attire. At least the only way you get to see that content is either at the beach, waterfalls, boats, rivers, so forth. At Carnival, I can people bring their children to
To
Carnival
watch Carnival.
to watch it, and it's out
To
on the
watch.
street. So how come you let that rock? This is what I'm talking about between PR, corporate communication, and a corporation. That becomes too much of a big noise that makes the company look bad. You know what the company does? Fire the PR person, bring in a new PR person, tell them clean it up, and then you hear stuff like this. Starbucks is a very inclusive organization.
The favorite I word.
Yes, we are diversified and we're versatile in the people that we work with throughout the Jamaican culture, which has been here long before we are. And we apologize for any other. You know why? Because the business does not give a shit about the policies that someone in its organization misrepresent. You know what it cares about? The
Money.
bottom line, the
Mhm.
money. So the only reason why the church is able to say what it's saying is because no one's losing money. Make
Yeah.
someone come in to put up money. Someone from government comes to tell the church, shut your mouth.
Yep.
Yep.
Shut your mouth. And that's it. The church will shut up. Just like how during a particular pandemic, the church tried to speak out. The government came and said, shut your hole. And all churches in Jamaica, 99% of churches in Jamaica were silent. They couldn't speak. They had to be quiet. So if anyone's ever wondering which one has more power, the state or the church, well, Rome has proven that then till now. It's always the state. Don't mix up the church with God, because no matter how much power the government have, they don't rule over God. I just want people to know the difference between the church
Don't
and
get it
God.
twisted.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. I'm like, they can talk against the church and silence the church, but they can't silence God. But with that said, let's move on to another topic. I don't want to slide into that slippery slope. But, now, new topic. Here we go. You guys thought the first one was controversial? Here we go. Korean and Jamaican pop cultural exchange phenomena.
Oh.
In Jamaica. Before we even get into the question that's going to create the drama, let's get a little history on how you guys got involved into K-pop here in Jamaica. And let's start off with Marcy first. We'll work backwards here. Yes, let's go.
How did I get into K-pop?
Yes. In
You know, the
Jamaica.
funny thing is, in Jamaica, no, it's from Jamaica. I got into K-pop around when I want to say it's 2014. It was actually anime that got me into K-pop because
Wow.
I
Which
was watching
anime?
Blue Exorcist. I was watching
Girl,
Blue
yes.
Exorcist, and I was listening to Take Off by 2 p.m. And I'm like, yo, this is. So I'm
Mm.
like, I'm gonna find them. I'm gonna find them. Found them, realized they're not a Japanese group. They're actually like a K-pop group, but they do Japanese um songs and stuff. And that's when I fell down the rabbit hole, basically. And I think around 2015 is when my sister, a sister of mine, from high school days, she was the one that put me on BTS, GOT7, like Blackpink, and all those stuff. Yeah.
All right, all right. Loch Ness. First of all, well, clearly you know about K-pop, but are you involved in the scene?
No, I'm not
I
actually.
used
I'm
to
not
be.
actually involved in the scene right now. No, I used to know a couple people from the NJ group that would like invite me to like do some of the dances with them and watch the choreography and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But
All right. And for those who don't know what A&J Group is, it's Anime Nerds of Jamaica. Just want to make sure everyone understands the acronym for those who might be new to this podcast and not know. But continue.
honestly, it's just that I too found Takeoff really great because I watched Blue Exorcist and it was like my
Yeah.
favorite thing.
Yes.
Still love that
I
song
st-
up to
I love
today.
that song. Banger.
But but it's like because of a lot of the people who were really into it at the time, I couldn't really get into it because I wasn't like hyper attracted to the people in the group, and it was just
Mm.
mostly the girls that would fawn over the guys and write fanfic about the guys and all them. I couldn't really relate to all of that. So
Well, let me ask you a question, Loch Ness. Do you find these K-pop men attractive, personally?
I know they are pretty. I have the knowledge that they are pretty, but for me, no. I need some chocolates or some. You look too pretty. I like my men
Personal
kind of
preference
unique
is
looking,
totally
you
allowed.
know?
What
Totally
what
fine.
what, what if they kept the same structural features, but they were just darker?
They look like an alien. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
well,
You know
that
what?
would
That's the realest answer I've heard. I will say.
God damn.
they would actually look Indian.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
pretty
no,
much
no,
to
no,
some
no, no,
extent.
no, no. Let me say
To
something
some
about
extent.
Indian men.
Okay.
Sexy, interesting looking, ears, nose, forehead, different shape, variety. It's not just,
The hair.
it's not just
Oh,
God
they
damn.
have a very V-shaped what do you call it again?
Chin.
Shape.
yeah,
Jawline.
and I
Yeah,
find
jawline
that
is
very
V-shaped.
feminine. I find that because my face is really round, I don't know, they look all of them look like Neko, like
Okay.
slim and thin. They look like women to me. I'm
No,
sorry, I can't get with
oh,
it.
that's what you meant. Because I was about to say Neko has a round face.
Eh, kind of. No, it's like
An
it's there,
ovular.
but it's a little bit angular, but
You
yeah,
have an ovular face. Yeah,
yeah.
actually have an ovular face.
They all look like women to me. I'm so sorry.
Well, I agree with you. Don't worry about that. We're gonna skip Neko because that one's gonna take 2 hours.
That's
Nile,
crazy.
Nile,
Crazy,
you have a
bro.
huge history. We'd have to go back to the time when Jesus was walking the earth. So we'll come back to you last. Nile,
Damn.
yes, you can start. How did you get into K-pop?
Actually, shameless plug. There was a whole TV feature explaining that. We'll put the link in the chat for y'all. But besides the point, for those who are you know,
I like plugging. I
yeah,
like that.
just
Continue.
drop that in there. But to just continue, right? I didn't know what K-pop was until Just Dance, where I heard Bubble Pop, and that's when the Valkyries was around, the Hasari and Konai, and they're all about that K-pop stuff. Me, I was just like, oh, word, sound good, yeah, man. That was just my view towards K-pop, nothing else, right? And until dancing came along, and you know me, before these mad people came along, I had three left feet, so me and dancing is not, we're not together. So it took them putting me on to the artist, Just Dance being there, that has a good number of K-pop songs on there, from like Red Velvet, Blackpink, BTS, and them people there. That really educated me about the whole K-pop, and then come to realize that there is a whole scene out there. It's really the dancing, and that got me into K-pop, and now going into my own little search, from going to different events and stuff, going into my own search and finding artists who I personally like. Shout out to BB, yeah, bad girl BB, love she. But that was my start into K-pop, and I'm still new because I only know of it through Neko, Kwanai, and Hasari, so they're just feeding me with information at this point. But yeah, that is my start into K-pop.
All right. And now you guys are gonna thank me because you're gonna go down history lane. You're gonna get the full breakdown of not just how Neko joined K-pop scene, but the actual history of it in Jamaica. Neko, you have the floor.
Right. So as the resident Jamaican blink in the house, right? Right. As
What,
the
what
resident,
what's a blink just for the
a
audience?
blink is someone who is a fan of Blackpink, right? And these are the bands from the concert from the world tour, right? And this is my thingy. So, right. So there's my little resume for a second, but yeah. So let me just like drop in on the little history. I'm gonna give how I got into it first. Slightly different from the TV version, similar though, right? So I got into K-pop in high school, right? But it was it was really because I had friends who got into it first. So similar to how Nile got into it, meaning that she had people around her that listened to it and then she ended up getting involved in it. That's how I actually started myself. I had a friend of mine who was into it from like the beginning of high school going up, and then I eventually came across the song Fantastic Baby by Big Bang back in around 2014. I know the song was released in 2012, but I didn't actually I would say personally come across it until a couple years later, right? And funny enough, my first K-pop song, even though I didn't know it was K-pop, was actually, well, technically it's the second one. It's Gangnam Style, and I think most people everybody heard Gangnam Style, but they didn't necessarily know what K-pop was, right? My actual first K-pop song was actually a song it was a collaboration between Akon and Wonder Girls, an English collaborative song, and I didn't, but you know what's funny about it is that I loved it. I loved the aesthetic. I loved these girls. I didn't know who they were, but I loved the concept. But I didn't know that it was K-pop. And I guess that was just like foreshadowing for me getting into it later on, right? And so from there, I started out with Big Bang and YG Entertainment Artists. So 21, Big Bang,
What
and
year?
individuals.
What year is this?
This is 2014.
Okay.
2014, 2016. And as some of you may know, 2016 is when, well, 2015, 2016 is when Blackpink debuted. So I was there from before Blackpink debuted and found out about the fact that they joined YG Entertainment and then became Blackpink. So that's how I'm here from the beginning of Blackpink, right? And so I was into the music. I got into the music before the visuals. I know these days people get into the, love and deep space. I understand, right? People get into certain media
Fandoms.
because of the visuals, the sexy men, right? Or the 3D men that happen to look like 2D men. You know what? I get it, right? But I actually got into it because of the music first. And then I found, I guess the only group that I was obsessive enough about that would be on the BTS army level would have been EXO. Yeah, so I was at XOL. I had the membership card. I have one of their solo members albums. It was a whole thing. It was ridiculous, right? So that was I think when I was in my obsession stage when BTS and EXO were like the fandoms were clashing and everyone was like, "Oh, EXO is gonna be the number one group in the world," but then BTS ended up doing that. But then EXO had a lot of drama going on, so it's fine, right? So that is the start of me getting into K-pop, right? Now, in terms of me being engaged in the scene and how the scene itself kind of, you know, became what it is today or started on the train to what it is today, right? I also did some research as well to see if there was anything before my time, right? And the push for community based engagement or fandom engagement actually started with the Korean embassy, right? It started through cultural exchange events at the ambassador's residence, which is now turned into K Lovers. The K Lovers event that is typically held at Terra Nova. It started out as just a simple reception held at the ambassador's residence up Stony Hill, and they held a talent contest there. The very first one, according to my memory as well, I could be wrong, but the very first one was in 2016. I happened to go there and sing and win and win somehow. I don't know how, don't ask me, right? And Hasari was also there alongside Pop Dynamics at the time, and they did a dance performance. It was where Pop Dynamics was first, I guess, debuted, so to speak. Right? So the first Jamaican K-pop group was born out of the embassy's community efforts. And at the time, in terms of community efforts to spread K culture or Korean culture especially on the East Coast, it was the embassy and Koyaka, or the Korean International Cooperation Agency, right? And our TV feature speaks to Koyaka's latest efforts in Korean cultural exchange. After that, for a long time, it was mostly the embassy hosting multiple little pop-ups in the year, right? And then other community figures started to come on board. You have the girl from K-pop dance. Well, that's the title that she has on her thing. She started doing random dance videos, recordings. That was in like the 2019, 2018 range, right? And she had an event at St. Andrews High School for Girls. And otherwise, we also had efforts on the North Coast by Crystal of K Stanza, or K Stans rather. She started doing her thing a bit later on with her K-pop drama fest, and from there her efforts kind of came into the Kingston range. And so currently we're looking at efforts from the embassy, from Koyaka, from IYF. They're doing their K Fest with their Korean volunteers that come down. And yeah, that is basically the current landscape of K-pop in Jamaica. I will say though, I know I'm kind of going long about this, but Jamaica also has a specific page dedicated to the BTS fans, the BTS Army, and they have done initiatives like putting billboards and ads on TV for BTS album releases, birthdays, doing meetups at various like cafes and stuff like that. So that is the current landscape of.
What's that thing in your hand?
This is a light stick. I don't have the batteries, but it's a Blackpink light stick.
Oh,
When you
Yes.
blank it, it changes color.
When you bonk, well, it changes color according to the music. If you play the music video, it'll change color to the music.
wow! It's connected to them. Whoa, whoa.
Yeah, it's sound activated. Also, it has like a squeaky function. Yeah, it has a
Nice.
squeaky function. But yeah, that's
Oh.
basically the climate. So as you can see, the anime community in Jamaica is a lot more. As much as the efforts of the anime community and the K-pop community kind of coincided around the same time, the infrastructure that the anime community has built is far more far-reaching and in place than the K-pop events or
Well,
scene, essentially.
I have a question for you, ladies. Then,
Okay.
all right. Based on you guys being in the, so each of you, you're either entering the scene now, or you've been in the scene for a few years. I know Niall has been in for a couple of years now. Marcy, she's been in for a couple of years. I guess Loch Ness is now entering, and you've been around for over a decade, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, how big do you see the K-pop scene in Jamaica becoming, and what are some of the avenues that will help it get there? Some of the people, the organizations, the communities. Like, how do you think? First of all, it's like a three-part question. Do you think it can get big? And if it does, who are some of the people, or what are some of the directions and organizations that can help it get there?
Who's gonna answer that question first? Am I supposed to continue answering on that one?
You can start. Actually, yeah. Let's continue from you, and this will give the others more to think about, and then they can answer.
Seeing as Jamaica is basically the tourist capital of the Caribbean, there is a lot of potential for K-pop, especially in the tourism factor. The thing with K-pop is that a lot of the fandom is young, so organizing the fandom to build the scene on a community level is a lot harder. It has to be the adults in the fandom that lead that push, and the adults in the fandom are not the majority, right? So that is the issues with that there, right? But there's a lot of potential for it because Jamaica is the tourist capital of the Caribbean, basically, and because if you look at it, if these artists don't tend to tour in the Caribbean. The Caribbean is usually ignored in terms of like tours and concerts and stuff like that. But recently that has been starting to change with Buja Banton having his concert when he came back, Vibes Cartel having his concert, Chris Brown coming down and doing his thing. So the precedent is starting to be set that artists can come, if they want to perform in the Caribbean, they can come to Jamaica to do so. So therefore, with that in mind, and also with the stadium supposedly getting renovated and overhauled, there is huge potential for Jamaica, for the Jamaican K-pop fandom to start to enter that particular side of it. But in terms of, I'ma just name drop here. In terms of anime com level, right? It's gonna be a lot trickier to do that. I'm not saying the audience is there, but are the businesses there? Are the, one of the reasons why the anime community has thrived in the events and the scene space is that it has birthed so many businesses and it integrates with the art and the film industry and all those things. K-pop as a fandom is largely music and image and glitz and glamour based. It's not necessarily about the art of it. It's about the hype of it. Right? And it's harder to scale on a smaller, it's harder to scale the fan community efforts on a larger level, um if that is what what drives the industry, because it's the image, it's the money, it's the passion, but it's that's what drives the K-pop community. And that is why, if you look at conventions and stuff, it like K-pop conventions and stuff, it's largely funded by corporations that have ties into the K-pop industry itself. It's largely industry based and not community based.
But you're talking about in Korea, not in
No, I'm
Jamaica.
talking about globally. That
Oh, good.
this is
Well,
and in the Western world as well.
well,
One of the biggest conventions as well, KCON. It's tied into the industry, so there is potential, but the only way it can grow to AnimeCom and beyond levels, right, is for the community to work with corporate and government entities and have a good relationship. Because, as I said, K-pop is not based, the love for K-pop is not, and the drive behind K-pop is not art based. It's hype based and it's music based. And everybody knows that music and concerts and stuff surrounding that requires funding and is very big. And, you know, how to put it? It's very, it takes, there's a certain level, and K-pop in of itself is a very flashy musical genre. Y'all see the music videos, y'all see the outfits, the fashion campaigns. You know what goes into making K-pop, right? It's the money, it's the hype, it's that. And community efforts to scale to higher levels require government and industry support. So it's for the community entities to continue and also just to make positive connections with those corporate and government entities. And also, one thing we have to remember as well is that K-pop is a Korean, it's from Korea. It's not from Jamaica. It's not from the West. It's not a US thing. It's from Korea, which means the people of Korea dictate how they dictate how they are represented or how they want to be represented. At the end of the day, just like anime, we are borrowing. We are celebrating another person's culture, right? So we have to respect that. Even if it's a very commercialized thing, it is still their culture, their music, their people. So we have to, at the end of the day, be very careful on how we represent, whenever we do community efforts, community initiatives. We have to be very careful on how we represent the K-pop industry and the K-pop fandom, right? And with that being said, yeah, we have to make sure, we have to respect the people. All right, everybody has to respect each other and respect those that originated the fandom, and we need to work together. And if we work together, then we'll have K-pop idols come in here. We'll have, just like Trinidad, who is a smaller island than Jamaica, has a qualifier for the K-pop World Contest. They're smaller than Jamaica, but they have that, right?
Really?
Yes. So they can compete locally and get flown to Korea to compete and to compete against other global people. And you know what? How that happens? That happens when the community and the government entities that are involved in Korean culture and corporate entities come together to make something happen. And that is what it requires. None of us own anything. This is Korean culture,
I
right?
wonder, I wonder how
That's
well
all.
that's gonna go with Jamaica with this whole. Because I know Jamaican people, we love other cultures, but certain people in the industry are very old and they kind of want to stick to building Jamaica they put more effort into reggae and stuff like that. I know
Oh,
that
that's
they
totally
do.
fine. That it's up to the people, it's up to those in Jamaica who are interested in K-pop and K culture to work with the embassy and to work with other Asian oriented or other businesses that have an interest in the culture to just work together and find common ground. That's all it is.
What about it is so different from Jamaican music, and what pulls you to it more than you would, more than it pulls you to Jamaican music? Like what's the opposite that drags you to it?
It's the image, honestly. It's the image of it. You have So the music itself is very commercialized, it's very pop centric, it's very relatable in terms of like it's easy to listen to, it's easy to get into for the most part, at least these days, right? And when you have young, attractive looking guys and girls, it's not hard for people to gravitate towards people like that, because a lot of the time people get into K-pop because they like how the people look.
Hmm.
It's not just the music, right? They might initially get into it because of the music, but then they see some Silas looking dude and they're like, yeah, that's my husband. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a go with this guy. And anything he put out, even if it's mid, I'm gonna say, nah, he's supposed to get number one on the charts. I don't care,
You
right?
That's
can
true.
feel it.
Because for me in rock music, I really appreciate the rock and the grunge fashion. I love it. I love the entire energy of them.
Yeah. So does anybody else want to give their thoughts? I know I chat out everybody head for the
No,
past
you
half
didn't.
an hour.
I'm glad you did that. It didn't because you gave them time. But I wanted to ask you one. I wanted to ask you something about it. Let's say Blackpink was to come. Let's say BTS was to come to Jamaica and do a concert. How large of a turnout do you think it
It's
would be?
gonna sell out.
It's gonna sell out.
But it's not just gonna sell out because of Jamaica. It's gonna sell out because of the rest of the region as well.
You
Yep.
think people are gonna fly
Oh,
here?
definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
People would
One hundred
travel.
percent. The other Caribbean islands and maybe and the southern parts of the US, they're all gonna fly.
They're
And
gonna fly.
that's why I say
They're gonna.
Jamaica.
Jamaica would
It's
make
so
money.
lucrative. Jamaica is considered a tourism capital of this region. So anybody that decides, any K-pop group at the very least that decides to do a concert here, you're gonna have people flying in
Hmm.
from across the Caribbean, from South
Yep.
America, from Florida, from Mexico and
Yeah.
Central America. It's
I think
everybody's
they
just
should
gonna
do
come
it.
here. Everybody's just gonna come here because in
London. They're
terms of
gonna
the
come from
global south,
everywhere. They're gonna come out the woodwork.
yeah, because
I
They should
people
take
they
their
do
guarantee.
concerts
music,
in
their
Mexico and
fashion, and
Brazil, and that's it.
their skincare. They should just come down, just do a
Yeah,
whole week.
the south region of
For
the
a whole
world is only
thing.
represented in K-pop concerts in Mexico and Brazil. So add Jamaica to the list. Everybody's coming to Jamaica.
Everybody's coming.
Yeah.
All right. So let's quickly move around the board because I have a couple of more questions before we get into the final topic regarding this. So, Marcy, your thoughts
Yeah.
about how K-pop can grow in Jamaica?
Back in my days, like, because I was one of the people that would like literally advocate for people. I would be the annoying friend. Like, I just heard music the other day. Like, you're the other person. Is it K-pop? Like, yeah. Like, and just believe all my boyfriends all my guys, you know, they had to listen it with you gotta listen it. I got some people on it. Years later I got other people on it and it's like I feel good because K-pop has, I don't know, K-pop has this thing, like as Neko said, the image, their image is the song itself, like the message they're trying to portray. Like, because most of the time it's like, because for me it was the message, it
Mhm.
was the orchestration of the music. I wasn't on looks really when it came to like yeah, I wasn't all about the looks when I first started.
It's
Uh
mainly the song.
yeah, it was just the song, like, and their
Okay.
message. It was the message for me. It had to be like saying something positive, saying something, speaking against something that was, controversial or something that you could take away a life lesson. So that was very important to me. I will say that K-pop and anime, especially like songs within anime, because now they're having a lot of K-pop artists or Japanese artists. They're coming in on the tracks on the like the openings or the closings. Like, more people are getting into that. And I feel like that's such a big influence because now there's so much more people who appreciate K-pop, appreciate it for its message, appreciate it for the image, like for the people that sing, and also watch more anime. So I feel like they kind of go a little hand in hand. Like there's little similarities and stuff that promote, more people getting, I want to say more people interacting with this sort of content.
Um, Niall, what about you? Your thoughts on how it can get big and who are some of the key players that can help it get big in Jamaica?
How let me take this out. How it can get big. On a social level, keep in mind I am not as seasoned as Neko or Kwanai. I'm just talking from my point of view. So do not crucify me. I can't fight. Anyways, um on a social level, as long as you have people like Marcy and Kwanai who's ready to like spam a million BTS song in your ears or a million Blackpink song in your ears, they will always have the draw of it because it's always someone putting someone else on. So it will grow just off that. And young people thrive in groups. And when you have someone who's into something and someone else who's into the same thing, and you find a group, it naturally gets bigger over time. Granted, I may not know of how it came over this side of the world, how long ago, but I see that it is not as prevalent as the genres that are already here, the dancehall, the reggae, hip hop, western pop, that type of music. That's already here, but the fact that K-pop is from all the way from Korea, all the way from South Korea,
South
South
Yeah.
Korea,
Africa,
South
yeah,
Korea.
and
Yes,
it
South
came all the
Korea.
way over here, and the fact that it's growing to the point where there is not only kids who may have heard of their music from way back when to being adults now to having kids that are interested come to be interested in K-pop, or from the young people side who are coming into K-pop, it will grow from that socially. Now, on a business level now, Neko already went into it. Personally, I think with every entity, especially when you're dealing with something that is not yours, is not your culture, and a few. So once you have a clear idea how to work with the established entities that have a say so in these cultures, it's I wouldn't say it's easy, but it will give you a path to how to properly structure it to have more events catered towards K-pop, to have more gatherings and how to work with different businesses, as Nika said, in the K-pop scene, and that will harbor growth not only for people who may like the music, but you can come into the scene with your interest in K-pop or K culture and also make a career or make a living from it. Whether you want to be a content creator, a singer yourself, an idol, you want to own a group, producing music, whatever, you can go with that once you have the correct entities. Neka already went into it saying that once you reach to a point where you can properly structure your thing, I don't know how you call it, but the thing, once it's structured and you can go to the different businesses, the different corporate entities to be like, hey, I have this group, we are into this thing, and it's a growing multi-million-dollar global thingamabob, and we need help. Once you do it the right way, when you have those entities backing you along with the social part of it, it's bound to grow. You can't, you can't mess it up unless you mess it up. That's how I see it.
And one can't do without the other. especially with something like music. Anime is an artist is a medium in art, and anime is very broad. K-pop is just music and image. That is all K-pop is. And so it's harder to integrate it into other industries to then say to corporate Jamaica or whatever, like, hey, support this. You know, it's a little harder for them to do that. And then if the artists themselves don't have a particular interest in coming here as well, that also affects it as well. So where do you have to go? You have to go to the originators of the culture. You have to go to organizations like Koyaka. You got to go to the Korean embassy. You know, those are the avenues you have to go to, because it's music and culture. It's not it's not anything else, really. Now,
All
you had
right.
any more points to make, or that was it?
No, I wanted to just get I wanted to make a different question for Loch Ness before we move on, because yeah, we're killing time here. I want to get the last half an hour to for our last topic to end it. So I mean, straight
Okay.
too long on this. But Loch Ness, um, this is I personally seen some people in Jamaica do a bunch of different K-pop TikToks, and then you can see some of the people doing recently. This is just to my. I'm not saying it would never exist because I don't know. I don't really watch it, but I've seen a few, and I'm wondering if it's new. So maybe you guys can tell me. And so this question is for you, Loch Ness, but anyone can jump in and let me know if this is a fair question. Uh, so what's that? Money pull up, right? Do they do? Have Jamaicans been doing like Jamaican dancehall TikToks, like how people do K-pop dance TikToks? Do the are the two the same? No, not the same. I'm answering the question incorrectly. Just like how people do a lot of K-pop TikToks, like dance. I wouldn't call it dance covers, but like dance challenges. There we go. Just like how a lot of people do K-pop dance challenges. I recently just watched the money pull up dance hall dance challenge. Do you see a future integration between the two?
You mean like Jamaican people doing TikToks to Korean songs?
But meshing dancehall into K-pop as well.
Oh, definitely. You mix your culture. Jamaican people are great at mixing their culture with other people, with other cultures. And I know that if Koreans came down here, they would love Jamaican culture as well. I really can see the two cultures mixing up at some point. I actually think that's gonna happen with younger folks, with teenagers and stuff when it becomes more popular.
Okay, want to get your thoughts. Anyone else have a something to say on that before we move on to the final topic?
Um, what I will say is Jamaicans always make that. There are a couple of Jamaican creators that make dance challenges to the latest dancehall tracks, right? So that is something that's already quite popular. And sometimes those choreographies or those dance challenges, I should say, do get worldwide recognition. And you even have some K-pop idols who have done dancehall dance
Yeah.
challenges,
Oh,
right?
that's
Yeah.
new. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know
Yeah,
that.
not just money pull up is a slightly that the money the trend for money pull up did not originate in Jamaica per
What?
se. No, it didn't originate in Jamaica. But probably
Blasphemy.
I think it originated in the UK. A lot of funny enough, a lot of the global dance challenges that involve dance hall are
It's
usually
from the
made in
UK.
the US and the UK. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
That's true. That is
right?
true.
But there have been one or two Jamaican dancehall ones that were created in Jamaica that have done well, and also, as I said, a couple K-pop idols may have done it or something, right? So it is it's kind of started already because K-pop as a genre, it kind of incorporates a lot of it takes inspiration from other genres. K-pop is like anime. It's an umbrella genre with many different things. You have K-pop that's reggae, and K-pop that is pop music or dubstep or just like how Tyler's music was got really popular. You have Smart by the Seraphim, that's basically the same type of thing, right? So K-pop kind of mirrors what's happening in the pop culture scene. And having having already dabbled in reggae and a couple dancehall or even Brazilian funk and reggaeton, it's not it's already happening where it's integrating. What I will say though to the Jamaican context, and this is something I notice all the time, and I don't really get why, but a lot of Jamaican content or Jamaican made content is not made with a global audience in mind. It's really made just for the local scene in mind. Like it doesn't, if it goes past the scene, it goes past the scene. But a lot of Jamaican creators, they create content for Jamaican, like to the Jamaican culture and for Jamaicans in Jamaica, or maybe the diaspora, right? A lot of the Jamaican content sometimes and it extends to the dance content as well. So it doesn't necessarily get pushed to the global ethos. Essentially, if it pops off in the global sphere, it's like happenstance. It's not like intentional.
Yeah.
So I don't. It's a weird phenomenon I see where Jamaicans, they create, but they create to the local context. I don't know if it's a case where they don't necessarily think that the global pop, like that, people outside the Jamaica aren't going to be interested, so they just go with what works. I think it's a little bit of that they're just like, okay, this works, and I know other people in my area will be interested, or other people in the country will be interested. Let me do that. But I find a lot of these Jamaican creators, they don't create with a global mindset or create for a global audience. You can still create Jamaican centric content, but with the quality and the direction to a global audience. I just don't see that very often. And honestly, it's really, apart from myself and the Valkyries, and then like people who are in, honestly, the people who are in our niche overall with the anime and the K-pop and all of that, I think we are the ones that tend to kind of lean into the global sphere because we're kind of into global things. I don't see it a lot with Jamaican
Nicole, you
creators. Is it
also
just
have
me?
to understand that probably most likely why that is the case is because people are creating it for amusement, or
Yeah.
maybe not. They're not doing it seriously, but then when you like get the attraction, when you get the attraction in like views and the
Mm-hmm.
when it starts to grow, then it becomes a bit more serious, and then they have to think of new ways now and new
Yeah, so it's
ideas
like an
to keep it
afterthought.
going. Yeah,
I
Yeah.
think it's because of
yeah,
marketability. If you're
true.
gonna if you're gonna market something, I guess it's more like passion versus immediate like cash return, because you're
Yeah.
gonna market
Yeah.
who they know is gonna buy it right now, who's gonna play it right
Yeah.
now. And when
Because
you're
the
like,
world is so interested in Jamaican culture. It's actually quite shocking how the
I
world
think
is obsessed with
that's what
Jamaican
they're
culture,
leaning
and
into,
Jamaicans still create with the mindset that it's not gonna go past Jamaica. At least this
and
is
that
what
is
I've
what
been
I'm saying.
observing. I don't know if this is
That's what
really the
they're
case,
relying
but
on, because
yeah.
at least
Jamaica
it's
is
like
Jamaica,
guaranteed to sell
and
in
Jamaica is
Jamaica.
already so influential. Anything
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that we do, people naturally gravitate to it. So people they're not gonna think about, hey, how will this look to the people in China? How this gonna look to my African people? How this gonna look when it spread? How can I present this so that it spreads and with them in mind?
Mm-hmm.
They're Some of them are just thinking about, yeah, I'm making this from a Jamaican
How
people
much
them
can
who
eat a
already
food today,
understand
essentially?
this,
So
who already get
what we
it.
need to do
So
as
like, why
Jamaicans
do
is
it?
dream
They gonna
bigger.
see it anyway. That's what I think their mindset is.
I would like to give a shout out to Wayne Benjamin from the Live Video Game TV. He told me this as a Jamaican television content producer. He says, and he's been doing this for 20 plus years in Jamaica. He says, Jamaican producers of any content has a third world local community mindset when it comes to producing content. They do not think on a first world industrial level. And for me being in for the last 10 years, that is 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
most of the content producers in Jamaica that think like that leave Jamaica. They don't work here. They leave. They start in Jamaica, but when they want to expand and they take
They
on
leave.
the first world, they leave.
They leave.
And you know
leave.
what's so funny is that they could still be based in Jamaica and just, go out and come back, but they just take up operations and put it elsewhere. You
Because
know?
the second they step outside of the
They
niche and
stay in
expand
Jamaica.
outside of the niche, they have to deal with bad mind.
Oh yeah, Jamaicans, boy, the
Yeah,
crab in a battle barrel mentality is
Always
just,
remember the bad man is strong.
I think that's what it is. That's why they
and the
leave.
people are afraid. I think it's also a level of fear as well. That if you make it in Jamaica and stay in Jamaica, even if you're getting, and yeah, you can still travel for foreign opportunities, right? But if you make it in Jamaica and stay in Jamaica, there is the prospect of Jamaicans being very much like very shit towards you, essentially.
Yep.
Oh, it
I
sounds like the
also don't
hood in America.
understand how it dies down. Like sometimes you'll have someone like Gully Bop and he just woof, just went out. I think he also died, but that's
Yeah,
not
man, he
kind of what
did.
I mean.
Dead as
Mm.
well.
But prime example, Cartel come out of prison, does one tour, gets a visa. And
One
he's
concert.
in one
One
concert,
concert.
gets a visa, and he's on his way. And I can't even blame him.
I
He's
can't
got
blame
fat
him.
now.
I can't even blame him because when his first interview before his concert, people automatically started to try to create a rivalry, and Cartel actually had to pull up his big man pants and says, "I am beyond rivalries and whatever." He's like, "Let the young generation step in."
As I
Yes,
said
I'm a
that,
big man.
there's also, I don't know if you remember Alkaline.
Yeah.
When he just came in, he had the shock value, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you had people who kept comparing him to Cartel and the other entertainers in who are already established. And for at first, I would really pronounce that music, but I could see that he's genuinely trying to find his way and to not be compared to other people. But what I saw was that the backlash was more than the backup. Then I didn't see much support for Alkaline in Jamaica until he left. Man's gone. He went to America, or I don't know. He's not here. And the fact that he's still making Jamaican music, just not in Jamaica, people are now begging, Alkaline can come back, do a concert here in Jamaica. But man was like, when I was here, nobody really, y'all quick to compare me to Cartel, which is an honor, by the way. Your fact say you just come in and people are already, but
Yeah,
like there's no real
Mm-hmm.
support.
they
It's
compare
more
him to the
like they're
best.
egging on a rivalry, and that gets tiring after a while. People want to be recognized for what, for their craft. So I can understand why he left.
I know it's just the Jamaicans' urge to just get nostalgia because we're all nostalgic for the Bunty and Beanie and the Cartel and the what was he against? Bunty Killer and Cartel? Movado
Yeah.
and
No bother, yeah.
Cartel.
Yeah.
All right, guys. With that, let's move on to our final topic. We're in the last 30 minutes of our podcast, so yeah, literally 26 minutes remaining before we shut down. Oh boy, here we go. Now we're going to get really controversial.
I don't like when
So
you say that.
here's the situation. We're going to have a segment on the show called "He Said, She Said." It won't be every podcast, but this particular podcast, because of the situation regarding K-pop, I thought it would be good to bring this question up, right? It's been said that the Valkyries, yes, this is about you guys.
Oh yes, we gotta go over this topic every couple months, right?
Yes, every couple months, right?
All right.
So
Even Jay tired. Oh my god.
it has been said that the Valkyries have made strides in their endeavors, right? Gaming, anime, cosplay, etc. You know, a lot of people think the Valkyries is a dance group or something like that, but it's not. It's a gaming group. It just expands in other pop entertainment fields, whether it may be dancing, cosplaying, they're into anime, creating content, all those type of things, right? All right. But they said that in order for you guys to have made strides to where you guys, what you've done then to where you are now, that you guys have been a part of a sex cult. Whereas, yes, a sex cult, CULT people, where you have to have sex with one guy in order to get the funding needed for what you guys do. So let's talk about, you guys are recent members. Even you, Neko, you only been there about what, 2.5 years, almost 3 years if you want to really say it. Marcy, you just joined the VOA community as a Haria, and then Loch Ness, you really just got here not too long ago yourself, literally less than a year, right? But we're gonna why are you laughing?
It's just so old at this. I feel like them now have nothing else.
All right, hold on.
Pick something else, bro.
So we want to kind of get you guys background. We'll start from Loch Ness first, then we'll go to you, Neko, and then Marcia, we want to get your thought, your experiences since you joined the VOA community. So here's the first question. What was the most denigrating thing you heard about the Valkyries before you joined versus what you experienced after? We'll start with you, Loch Ness.
Okay, yes, I heard all the rumors possible. I heard that y'all were a
Such
sex
as?
cult. I heard that that all y'all were sleeping with each other or with some other guy, or y'all were being pimped out to people. I heard that.
Wait a minute,
y'all-
hold on. We have two situations here. They're sleeping with each other and sleeping with another dude?
That's sad.
Yes. yes.
But
Is that
No,
is that two separate
so-
things, or is it at the same time? So
That's
they're sleeping
crazy.
with each other and then the guy.
That's a lot of work.
that's a lot. That's a lot of work. That sounds exhausting. I'm
That's
not gonna lie.
effort, my guy.
It was always said that there were men in the background who were not being shown, who women had to appear a certain way to in order to be accepted and profitable in the group. I've been told by many different people. Many people who were men who were also said it in a discriminatory way because some of the women were dressed a certain way. And I'm like, how do you know how they're dressed? Is it because you're watching their streams and you're just saying bullshit to me? But I don't say that to them because if you let them know that you're smart, they start to physically attack you. But no, I
That's
did
not
not.
true.
I did not have to have sex with anyone or anything or do anything weird, but I was told by a lot of people.
Okay. All right. And your time, since your time here, what is book? About a month, right? Less than a month, right? Your time here. So whose house did you have to go over to have sex?
How much is vagina?
God.
Because that's not a lot of work.
Well,
Oh,
I'm just saying, they said that's what
How long
happens.
been having them?
So I would like to know, was it a guy or a girl, or was it both?
God damn.
Luckily, I have been untouched, in this entire
Oh.
experience. I have not had to sleep with anybody.
Also, there's a white knight in there stopping this from happening. Oh, we gotta give that guy props. We gotta give that guy props. All right. Thank you. We'll get back to your Loch Ness. There's more to this. This is just the beginning. All right. Marcy. Yes, Marcy. So, who did you have to sleep with to be in the Valkyrie community?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
Who did you have to sleep with to be in the? No, don't answer that question. That's a stupid question. What have you heard about the Valkyries that's denigrating to the brand, and what negative have you heard about the Valkyries? And then, can you give us your experience since being a part of the community?
I honestly Nat, is it Nat?
Yeah, NAS, NAS.
Nat touched on some of what I had heard. Well, I only heard like two things, like
Which are?
like you have to sleep, like you have to sleep the pimp out part.
Oh,
I
the
heard
pimp
that.
out part.
The pimp out part, and I heard you know, and it's mostly from men actually. It is
Yes.
mostly men saying
Yes.
those stuff, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, wow.
But I think I also heard that they dress skimpy because they want to appeal to more people. They have to use their bodies to do all sorts of stuff,
If
and
a
I'm
man
like,
says that to you, it's because he's literally jealous of the fact that women can be attractive. It's always insecure men that want to make you feel bad
hmm
because you can attract people, and they don't want to do any of the work that you do to be attractive. They don't want to do any work to make themselves more attractive. They just want to make you feel bad for your ability to attract people. And it is
But
a delusional mindset.
hold on. This from a bit. All jokes aside, let's look at this from a business standpoint. Any
mm,
brand. Let's go. Let's take a step back. We're
right,
going to go back to the K-pop brand. Look at Blackpink. So they're being pimped out because they have to. In fact, I'll specifically pick out one person. Lisa had to do a Victoria's Secret something
Performance,
something, right?
yeah.
Concert. So her manager is pimping her out for doing a risque dance where she's splitting and all this other stuff at a Victoria's Secret with what was that black girl's lady's name? The Victoria's Secret
Tyler?
legend. What's her name?
Tyler.
Who-
Not Kyla, no, the old one.
Tyra.
Tyra Banks, yeah,
Tyra,
Tyra
yeah.
Banks, yeah. And she came out and all these girls was
Tyra
doing
look damn good.
they
still,
was
no, no.
they were on some dancehall shit because I was like, what's going on here? These girls were in underwear and they were doing all that. So is that
Lingerie.
yeah, lingerie.
Lingerie, yeah.
So is the manager for Lisa from Blackpink pimping her out for making her attractive to the global audience and the world that buys lingerie? I'm just asking because that it kind of doesn't make any sense. How are you? Isn't the point to make women attractive to draw in the audience? I'm like, I'll have to politically say this. Who uses unattractive women to market?
Dumbasses.
It's not. That's not true. Dumbasses can't do that. Dumbasses wouldn't be in business. You can't. The point is, you can't do that. You can't do business that way. So, do you guys know of a company that uses unattractive, an established brand, established or on the come up, that uses unattractive people to market their brand and is successful? Why are
Not
you
even a
smiling?
skincare company.
Not even a skincare company?
No,
So
yeah,
then,
it's already pretty.
nah, come on. Even a skincare company have to go out and get some ugly person with the axe chopped in their face.
Well,
You gotta be diverse and inclusive, right?
But
So
most of the time, at the very least, the person will have a pretty face. But whether they'd be bigger in body structure or otherwise, usually they would pick somebody that would be considered conventionally attractive, and then have the token person
inclusive,
of
yeah.
with different images for inclusivity purposes. But if you look at even brand ambassadors just generally speaking, and like promo girls, all of that, they always choose just generally conventionally attractive women. Just
Okay.
generally.
So
Yeah.
what else you got for us, Marcy? You said there was two rumors you heard. That you heard one. So
yeah.
what was the second one? Please make it juicy. If you have to embellish and add a little bit more,
Exaggerate, damn it.
exaggerate. We have
I
people watching. They want to
Oh,
be
we
entertained.
don't
Oh my
mind.
God.
Just to let you know, if you guys can say if you heard it a particular way and you want to like soften it up, no. Say it
No, brother.
exactly how you heard it.
Say it.
Promise so we already hear it. But go
Trust.
on.
No,
It's still
I
nice.
feel like Nas really touched on what I heard because I heard limited stuff. I mean, I heard limited. It was
Yeah.
limited.
So
It
this
and it didn't influence the way how I felt about anything because I have friends that are part of this. So it's like they're
No, you have a
saying
brain. You have a
I have a brain.
brain.
How
Like
dare you have a
why would I
brain?
listen to
And
you?
the people who are telling you, the type of men that are telling you this type of stuff, guaranteed they either want you to be interested in them, they cannot control their sexual desires for women overall, or they're just insane.
that's crazy. I'm confused here about Loch Ness because she said the girls having sex with each other and then the dude. So I'm trying to figure out, is this all one bed that they're on, or is this separate situations?
Listen to me now. I believe
bed's
I
small,
was
innit?
told specifically tailored things that would turn me away because they just wanted to turn me away from y'all.
So
Mm.
what were these specific things they told you?
You know,
They-
admin love the
Like
violence
they
now.
said,
You know,
don't
no.
sugarcoat it. They said don't
Okay,
sugarcoat it.
okay. I was told that if I joined, I'd have to endure harassment, sexual harassment. I'd have to probably sleep with the leader for the group.
Oh, damn. That's crazy.
I'm flattered, but no.
I'm like, hey, I
I'm
mean,
flattered.
That's
damn.
crazy.
Swoon.
Yeah.
Even.
I have no
God.
problem with like I have friends who are gay, but for me, I'm really heterosexual. So much to the point where if I feel like I don't want to date men, I've just been celibate for the past forever now because them terrible. But because of that, I was told a lot of stuff about y'all being really gay with each other.
When
Pretty
RJ said
sure.
it, Nile has a harem. That's crazy.
Apparently.
Apparently,
And
so I
then
didn't-
Jay, I think Jay had said that people think me and Nyla are a couple, and you know, say
Yeah, man, my wife
I
that long
can't,
time,
I
man, my
can't
wife
believe
that,
them
bro.
now.
You know, it's
Shit.
because people find you too attractive. They are perverts, and they do that
They're
pervert
imagining
thing.
us.
Yes.
Yes,
No,
they
not
are.
not imagining y'all. They're imagining y'all with them. In their mind, you're both gay with them.
Yes,
Trust
and
me,
them
you're
hate
not alone.
themselves so much. Them want enough intimate, and them like in a closet somewhere are watching her. They don't even really want to
Oh,
be
God.
involved. Like it's the
It's
people
like a
that hate
fantasy. It's a little bit
themselves
of a fetish thing going on.
yes, and the man
I
them what hate
get it. Yes.
themselves the most. I think this shit. Trust me.
All right, let's get to the juicy parts. Neko, before you joined, what did you hear versus what you experienced?
Let us. All right. So
If you're wondering,
my
I'm
experience is
I'm
a
rubbing my
little.
hands like Birdman right now.
Yeah, I
Oh, my
know.
God.
You know, I guess I've never actually talked about this. Funny
I
enough,
don't
I
know what
think I think
Birdman
I'm the
looks like.
one person that's never fully gone into that on a live stream or on a public platform. Right?
Neko, I'm sorry. Right before you start, I have someone in the chat actually asked a very important question. All jokes aside, RJ said, so the question is, who's on top?
Um honestly, Nile is shy, you know. Anyways, moving on.
Yes, continue.
What you trying to say?
Continue, please.
Could I not? That's crazy.
Moving on, all right? My circumstances are a little different. I think from a couple others, right? Because apart from I was already kind of established in the fandom community from before. So people knew me from that. And then my appearance also is another factor. Like, yes, you know, Jamaica is not America in its level of racism, but it has everybody knows that Jamaica is very colorist and stuff, right? And so the many of I got when I tell you my entry in the Valkyries was like a war fucking broke out. Is like a war breakout. I don't know in the back end on my in my life or whatever. It's like a war fucking broke out, right? I don't know I'm not sure about the community reaction too much because I don't talk to people, right? I've heard, but I don't know what the community. But in my life, it's like a war. It's like me join the Taliban. It's like me
Really?
join the Taliban.
Yeah.
Literally. I'm like, yo, no. So let me tell you the many things that I heard or the many opinions that I got from all walks of life, from the community, from all walks of life. I'm not going to specify who and whatever. I got, yo, these people are bringing down your image. You're going to be prostituted. You're going to be sex trafficked. You're going to be pimped out. You're gonna have to fuck the manager and the cameraman, and you're going to be used for your body. And
Time out, time out. Hold on.
dog,
Hold on. Is the cameraman and the manager at the same time or separately? These are very important questions.
Very exhausting.
one after the other, apparently,
A lot of
right?
sex.
And they're gonna scam you out of your money. You don't need these people. Yo, they're selling their bodies. They're sluts and whores.
Filthy whores.
I'm laying out every single one. By the way, I'm going in my memory bank and I'm laying out every single one. Right?
Goddamn.
What are you doing around these girls? You know, they do nothing for you.
Because they
No.
would know.
And you have to be careful around that. You have to be careful around these people. You know, you don't know what they're going to do with you. And you already have your thing going in now. You must be able to take this up and do this by yourself. Why
All
are you
them
doing
people
it with
that
these
help on
people?
themselves.
What are these girls you're hanging around, and why they have their ass out on the beach? Why are they wearing these bikinis
That's a
all
weird
the time?
question. That's
What
a
is
weird
that one
question.
sound like
Where
an
else
old
she
lady?
must be out?
But that's a weird question to ask. Why do these girls have their asses out on the beach?
It's like you see how they're presenting themselves. They're presenting themselves as if they're asking for it. Do you want to be associated with people who are asking for
Asking
it?
for it.
To be fair, hold on, time out. To be fair,
I'm
in
I'm listing out everything I've heard, guys. Like, I'm not joking.
in this day and age, you don't have to ask for it. The dudes is already on monster demon time. Dudes is trying to give it to you whether you ask for it or not.
I'm giving
Just like to say.
and by the way, guys, everything that I'm saying, I'm not exaggerating. Like, everything I'm saying here is what I've heard from all walks of life.
I'm starting to realize everything you heard is what people would have done to you if they got the chance to get you.
I don't think it's everyone, but some.
Some,
Because-
definitely
yes.
some.
Here's why I would say that. Objectively looking at the Valkyries from the outside, some of their content can be mistaken for that. If I was a parent and I saw my daughter join the Valkyries and I saw one of their more, how can I put this, modernized content for entertainment, as a parent, I would be concerned. Not to the point where I'm like, you can't do this, but I would be a responsibly concerned parent because I realize that a lot of parents don't do this. When they're concerned about something, rather than them trying to educate themselves with what is exactly that their children are doing, they've made a judgment about it. They don't want to hear anything. They don't want to learn anything. What they've seen and is enough for them to make a judgment. That's it. And then it's cut out altogether. And they're like, no, I don't want you to do this, yada, yada, yada. And that very same thing can go for your friends and your associates. Sometimes they're just saying it because they don't know much about it and they're genuinely concerned for you. It's not a bad thing. You have those who they have the wrong intentions in mind. They're only saying that because they don't want you to be around them. They want you to be around them so that they can take advantage of you. But you do have some people who do, fairly speaking, friends and family who, when they look, they see that. Because like when you see the Valkyries on the beach, oh, wait, what? One moment, something happened? Oh no, oh that's cool. Okay, cool. That want to protect their friendship with somebody. Nobody want. If I know a guy, if I look at a guy and I heard from people in the streets that this guy's not really a good dude to hang around with, and then I see a member of the Valkyries go in there hanging around them. Actually, this has actually happened before, and I see that happen, and I'm like, I don't really, trust that guy. I give them my opinion. Look, listen, that guy you're hanging around him heard some stuff, so just be careful what you're doing. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You girls are not like 16, 17-year-old girls. You're grown-ass women. You're young ladies. You can make these decisions on your own. I don't know enough to give you my definitive, don't be around this person. But I am going to at least say, be careful what you're doing around this person. If that Valkyrie goes, don't worry about it. This person's good. I have to just take their word for it because I don't know. But you have some people who they don't care about wanting to know, and in a sense, it's kind of rude because it's like they don't think you're mature enough or of an adult for you to make sound decisions for yourself. That somehow that lack of information based on what they just see from the outside, they can make a better decision for you, which is stupid. But I wanted to put that caveat out there because you don't want to sit here and say all people are chastising the people from joining the Valkyries come from ill intent, because that's not true. It's 50-50 to be very fair and constructive about it.
Maybe.
Well, maybe
In my case, it was 50-50,
60-40.
I would say. Or 64. Actually, no, 60-40.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
60-40.
there's some people who are doing it in good intent. Let's just say that. Maybe there's more people. You know, actually, for sure, there's more people who are doing it in bad intent. But there's definitely some people who are doing it with good intent. So you can't get mad at them. So in these things that you're hearing, we're really just speaking about the malintent people there is. But Neko, do you have any
No, I'm
more?
giving y'all the full breakdown
Okay,
because I've
cool.
never actually talked about it.
You never vented
Right?
this?
I've
Oh,
never,
I'm
you know,
doing the
I have
Birdman.
I've engaged in this conversation, but on a surface level. I've never actually shared. This is the first time I'm sharing what has happened behind the scenes for me. Because everybody knows what happens in the community, but I guess I've never spoke about what happened behind the scenes for me. And it's literally like hell broke loose, right? And for the first couple years, imagine 80% of the people around you telling you you've made the worst decision of your life. Imagine that, right? And
Yeah, you ain't even 30 yet.
no, I'm serious.
That's
Imagine 80% of the people around you saying you've made the worst decision of your life. You've thrown your life away.
So you have about 80 more years of hell to go through.
Right.
That's what they're saying.
And
lovely.
what I will say, one, it's not fair to the, considering what the Valkyries is, it's not fair to the brand, for one. And what I will say is that for those who have come and gone in the Valkyries, I cannot even blame them. Even if circumstances are different, I can't even blame them, because it takes a strong mind to have to deal with, to have to stand firm on what you believe in despite other people's opinions, right? It takes a strong mind to do that, and not everybody can do that. And thankfully, in the past couple years, the noise has died. Not to say I don't hear things these days. I do, but it's not in my ears all the time. It's just here and there when one or two pieces of content come up that maybe people don't like, right? But when I just joined the Valkyries, especially for the first year, it was literally like hell broke loose. It was like hell broke loose. Like, damn. Like, common sense went out the window. They saw titties and ass and said, yo, we need to save Neko from these hooligans. I'm like, damn, am I not a grown adult who can, have critical thinking and think for themselves? Because one thing I think people don't recognize is that, do you really think that I am stupid enough to join a criminal organization? Let us be real. Do y'all really think I'm stupid enough to do that?
Well,
This
if,
ain't on the kindness, people.
Do you
Silas
think
is not here.
Leave the fuck alone.
but if they went
Do
to
you
your
think
love and
I'm
deep,
stupid enough
if they went to your
to
love and
get
deep,
caught up in shit and be in it for this long as well, right?
but wait a minute, but you're with Silas in love and deep space.
Let us not speak on my fictional life choices, right? In my IRL life choices, right?
All right.
I would not have made the decision to join the Valkyries if I was not confident in the mission and the goal that I set out on upon joining. What and for those who don't know, the reason why I joined the Valkyries was growth and exposure. That's why I joined the Valkyries. Growth, exposure. That's it. And within the first month, I got that. My baseline goal for joining the Valkyries I got immediately, and I was rewarded 10 times over, essentially, for my choice for staying in the Valkyries, right? So what people need to understand is that never judge things on a surface level. Never judge a book by its cover or by the not the supposed cover, because it's not even like a real cover, right? Because people be making up all sorts of shit,
Hmm.
right? Just to justify their biases, essentially. And you're like, yo, no, stop looking at something and judging it immediately based on the fact that you're sexually attracted to something. You're no, don't let your dick or whatever dictate how your brain functions. Please stop it. Right? And the thing is that these things come from both men and women. I'm not gonna lie. It's majority men. It's majority men. But
Cause are the women not men crazy?
oh yeah, it's the pick me's. It's the pick me's, darling. It's the pick me's.
It's still then it's still the same
It's
thing. It's
still
male influence.
it's still a common denominator, right? And the pick me's, the ones that are looking for attention from the men, are not happy that that we have the attention, right? So like, don't judge a book by its cover, guys, or by the narrative that somebody else has pushed out. Please listen to the actual people.
Exactly,
Please look
because
at the actual work being done.
you never know.
Right.
One day, your
You could
mom's
have passed
or
up
your
an
sister will join the
opportunity.
Valkyries.
You could have passed up a very huge opportunity. I'm not saying that the Valkyries is for everybody, because honestly it's a lot of work. Like you see all of these anime events and TikToks and all of that, and you think, say, you're not gonna do work. No, I'm up until 6 o'clock in the morning editing videos. It's annoying.
6, that's a lie.
I'm
It
up,
was 9
I am
o'clock.
up until sunrise
was-
working on videos and in meetings. Save me. Anyways, I'm just kidding. But,
actually,
okay,
it was-
I'm kidding about the save me part, but I'm not kidding about the amount of work it is. It's actually a lot of work.
It
And
was actually
you
9
can
o'clock, not 6. The
that
last
was
one?
literally 2 days ago. But
Yeah,
moving
9.
along, right? How the output, how the Valkyries work is that what you put, it's about what you put in, and what you put in will dictate how much you get out of it. You can join the Valkyries on an administrative level, or on a talent based level, or on a community level, right? And most are in it for the purpose of like a talent agency type of thing. Like a gig comes up, an event comes up, and maybe a TV opportunity comes up, and they get paid just for that. Otherwise, you can be in the Valkyries on an administrative level that literally helps on decisions and doing business, and literally helping with the entire construct the entire direction of the Valkyries. Because like, Nile is the manager and director, and I would never want to be in her position. I'm gonna tell you that she have too much work. I'm sorry. I'd rather be number two, or maybe number two, right? I'd rather absolve myself of responsibility. Like, I will be the person that's like, hey, look, I can help, and I will give my opinion, and I will give advice. But in terms of actually having to contact plenty people every day and talk to people every day, no, I'm sorry, that's Nile's job. That's Nile's job. I'm sorry. I don't want to be. And even if Nile, being as she's the manager and director of the Valkyries, even if her image is very prominent, it's her business at the end of the day. That's how it is. And if, you want to be more in the forefront, all you got to do is make yourself available. You know? And that's how it is. And so if anybody was wondering, that's how the Valkyries work, guys. There's nothing to it. And it's not a trick question or anything. Like, everybody knows that the entertainment industry has a reputation for people being exploited. That is not something we're going to take away. But one thing we make it a point to do in the Valkyries is to push against that. If there are opportunities with companies, artists, or whatever that have exploitative means, we literally drop that shit. We are very much about opportunities that actually benefit us as much as possible and not take from us, essentially. Like, you'll see people who, there are music video opportunities. There's so many things that come up that pass by us, but we don't take because we see that the circumstances are not favorable. We don't take things solely based on the money involved. We take things based on, if it's safe, one, if it's safe for us to do it, and if it benefits the brand and the image and the girls overall. If there is anything that is going to harm the girls, we do our best to not engage with that. Or if we see something, we say it and advise y'all to not engage with that, essentially. Right? And that is the point. That is why the Valkyries are we have advisors that are both women and men, but at the end of the day, the Valkyries is run by women, and we are always going to look to the interests and of taking care of women in general.
It didn't make sense you even saying that because nobody's gonna believe you. Just letting you know.
I don't care if they don't believe me. I'm gonna say it.
Ain't nobody gonna believe that. Like, nah, ain't no woman running. That's some dude in the background getting his dick wet running it. That's what they're gonna.
Crazy.
That's all they're gonna hit. That's all they can't. And the sad part about it is this. This is the sad part about it. The reason why they think that is because they think women are a lesser class of human. It's actually
for pleasure.
it's not just tools for pleasure, but is a I don't want to say it's a form of true racism.
It's an objectification, essentially.
If you guys ever wanted to know what racism is literally that. First of all, there's only one race amongst people is humans, and people who believe women cannot lead or succeed on their own is because they believe that only a man has the experience, the physical, mental, spiritual, and financial, all the tools, the strengths to be able to facilitate an infrastructure where you can succeed. We're going to go to a slight red pill turn off for a moment. You know those guys who be talking about men run the world? They built everything in the world? No, there's truth to it. However, in the conversations that they have, they manipulate the conversation to make it appear as if women have no input into the way the society has grown. And that's because no one takes the time to look at the conversation from a how can I step back from the whole conversation and look at it from a global human context. They go, men build 98% of all the things in the world. This is true. Does that mean women can't build it? Their argument is, it doesn't matter. Have they? Okay, great point. Have they? So let me ask you a question. What is it that all mankind has built, everything that they've built? Mankind has built civilization for what? What's the purpose? Now, I want to show you guys a point about the red pill that's hidden right in front of your face. What is the purpose of mankind creating society and civilization?
To conquer nature.
Okay, let's not go there. But you're right, but let's not go there. That's a whole different, that's all, that is true, is to conquer and break away from nature. Which
I would say evolution.
Okay, watch this.
To use everybody's strength, male, women, cat, dog, and the puss.
Well, it's more
better to facilitate.
How can mankind have the time to go build the world if women are not watching the very generation mankind's building the world for? If the man is out, okay, watch this. Caveman primitive days. I'm going to go out, kill shit, bring it back home to feed y'all to eat, to then clear out the land from all of the monsters and lions and tigers and stuff so I can build shit. What are you building it for? It can't be for you. You don't need it. You can just build your little house for yourself if you're just a man for yourself. Well, I need to build it for my family. Wait a minute. So society is your family, correct? Yes. Man, your child and the woman. So you need to build that for you. Well, if you're gone from the nest to go build society, go provide, to get the food and to protect your family, the very thing you're trying to build for that family, how are you going to do it if no one's home to watch the kids? Oh, wait, that's right. someone's a part of that building process that you just so happen to not want to mention. Number two, men say women need us. The reality is we need each other. We're not immortal. We're not angels. We can't live forever. In order for our species to continue to exist, we need women just like women need us. And in order for you to keep a woman, you have to be able to provide and protect. And in order for a man to want a woman, she has to be able to nurture and teach the very thing he's trying to provide and protect for. So, can Goku and Vegeta beat Broly individually? No. But if they fusion, and they become Gogeta, they can.
The cringe, but okay.
It's cringy, but only together can humanity or mankind survive. But men like to remove that aspect of the argument to make it sound like without men, women have no place into society. And the answer would be, how'd you get here to build the world? God made me. Yeah. And you were good for a while, and then God said, oh, according to the Bible, people, this is not my statement, according to the Bible, and God made women, right? Yeah. So that you can do what? So that you can be fruitful and what? Multiply. Well, how are you going to be fruitful and multiply without us? So how are you going to make it like women don't have a place here? So it's like when women say, I don't need a man, men roll their eyes. So to hear a man go, we don't need you, that's not even gay. That's extraterrestrial. You will never hear a gay guy say, I don't need women. So if you hear a straight man say, we don't need women. It's straight. It's not gay. And it's definitely not heterosexual. It is extraterrestrial. You must be alien. You must be one of them hidden reptilian guys when the TV messes up and you see it's a snake person or something. You have to be that because you can't
They're
be.
pulling a dandadan.
You have to be dandadan. Yeah.
Oh God!
Because
they're pulling a dandadan on that one.
You cannot be a man and say you don't need women. Which is, then my question is, because I'll ask men this: well, I don't need no girls. So what do you? Your entire life, what do you do it for? I do it for me. Really? I don't know one man that lives his life for himself. That's not possible. I don't know a single, even if you're following the good book of the Bible, God gave Adam the domain over the beasts, power over the land. My man had everything, and he was able to talk to God. And God's like, yo, bro, what's really good, bro? You always depressed. What's wrong? Oh man, I'm just chilling. Yo, bro, why you? I got you, bro. My man woke up, pussy was next to him. Nigga was happy. God created the greatest
If
thing.
there was a Bible, a Triforce version.
My version of the
my
Bible is
God.
very straightforward. The greatest thing God ever created was pussy. You know why? And I'll explain to you. I will explain to
Yo,
you.
that sound like Wayne's Bible. What do you mean?
Logic.
That sound like Wayne's Bible.
Religiously, every day I get
It's a
read.
logical explanation. Logically, I'm gonna put it down logically. God gave Adam everything, and my man obeyed God. God gave Adam pussy. He betrayed God. God created something that made his creation betray him.
That's the biggest irony.
You have to be God to do that. You have to be God
I
to
just
do that.
laugh at that, like, bro.
He created something that made you betray him, and he made you. That's why God was like, he came back to Adam and was like, nigga, I gave you everything, and you were sad. I gave you pussy, and you betrayed me? And Adam was like, you don't understand. Of course I don't understand. I don't need pussy. I'm God. But like, is it that good? God had to sit down and like, all right, let me talk to you for a second. Come here. All right, so when you're in it, you got to break it down because I don't need pussy. So I don't understand it. So talk to me. How is it? Oh, man, if you were me,
Yo, you are
betray
so
yourself.
off the fucking point right now. Oh my
Right?
God.
I'm not off
bro.
the point. I'm not off the point. I'm still standing on the point. I'm still standing on the point of how men look at women then, now, and sadly in the future. Men see no use for y'all other than, as Lochner said, sex. Like you have no autonomy, you have no ability to build, you have no ability to govern,
You
you
know,
have no ability to lead, no ability to provide, no ability to protect. Like you're
that's because men have desensitized themselves to every single emotion or every single other type of range of emotion other than the seeking of pleasure. If men in general were open to feeling things outside of just pleasure, if they were just generally happy with existing, like sometimes I'm sad and that's beautiful, sometimes I'm happy and that's beautiful, and pleasure is just a plus in their life and not the main focus, then yeah, they would appreciate women more. They wouldn't just see women as vaginas on legs. And then
but
when
that spirituality is the direction for men on that. It's and so here's why I'm going to push back a little bit on that.
it
Emo-
should be the norm. It should be the norm.
here-
It
here's
should
the
be the
here,
Yeah,
norm.
but
here,
some women don't support it. Some women
yeah,
don't support that.
you're
They
not
don't
wired.
support men to know themselves.
No, no,
Why?
no, 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 no.
Winner,
Hold on.
winner.
Wait. Context. So here's the thing: women in general, not every woman, women
Not
in
every.
general are not wired to men being in their feelings, and here's
Yeah.
why: because the way society has been built. I don't know when it started, and I wasn't there when it happened, but
Oh, I think you're mixing up. I think you're mixing up what I'm saying. I don't want no sniveling beside
see,
for
there you
making it
go.
pussy. No, that's not what I want. I
That,
want
that,
me. I am not like that. I am emotionally aware of myself. I know when I get sad, I allow myself to feel things and I work that out because that is my business and I can do that in a relationship. It should not be hard. It is the bare minimum for a man to be that way because it is just showing that he has autonomy and he knows how to use that autonomy. However,
Marcy, I know you're gonna say Marcy, but hold on. So now here's where the you're not. I don't want to say you're wrong because you're not
It's
wrong.
a matter of perspective. It's not wrong. It's a
It's
matter
you're
of
yeah.
perspective.
Well, it's
are
more
you
than
okay?
it's more.
Sad and is he in love with being sad and is being sad his only way of getting your attention?
So here's what this is what no this is
No,
why I
I
want to
don't
give you
think
some.
that's where it's coming
Hold on.
from.
This I'm coming from a different point of view. So for women, the way women deal with emotional content is different from the way men deal with it.
Men.
That's why I said to you, men use the more spiritual route as as opposed to emotional. The reason why when you say, well, they should be, you can't because you're a woman and we're men. That's like us saying y'all should be more logical. No, we
I
Mm,
don't
can't
know.
tell.
I
mm,
just think as a human beings, we should generally just come together
no.
and create a standard where people are figuring out their emotions. Like
I,
you get jealous, you have negativity, you have stuff. You got to use that to figure out
that
yourself.
I
comes that
think
comes with union.
I
That
think a
comes with
big
Wait,
thing
wait.
That's
actually,
shadow work.
a big thing that kind of is the problem is that men are not taught how to regulate their emotions,
so
and the, and
individualism.
That's
Exactly.
what.
hold
Yeah,
on,
What
yeah,
you
they're
trying to say?
yeah.
generally not
Something
taught.
like that.
And
So
the
so
thing is
Generally,
that
it's a thought.
they
It's a
need
learned
their
thing.
mom and their dad. They need
Sad, and
both.
most people don't have their fathers in their
That's the
life.
problem. They need to understand another. They need both perspectives to teach them that.
so you're
And the
Yeah,
saying
problem is
so
that most guys do not have a
have
father or father
fear,
figure to help
bigger.
teach them how to
so
regulate their
what is that? So
emotions.
what is that then?
It's like a epidemic
So
essentially.
what is
Yes,
that
it
called?
is.
There's a phrase for that though. What is that called?
Daddy issues?
No. What?
Fatherless behavior.
It is
Fatherless.
fatherless
Thank you.
behavior.
Fatherless
Father,
behavior. Father,
See,
it all comes back down to mentorship and fatherless behavior. That is the problem.
shout outs to Dragon.
Right.
That
That's the
yo
root of the problem.
every
Men
time
can't
somebody
regulate their emotions in the way that they're supposed to because the men in their lives fail them.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
all they
just a
know is to
cycle
just be a
of
man and
destruction.
don't cry.
I also blame companies. You're literally marketed, oh, tough, steel, blah, 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 blah. Men can't just exist. You have to, all, men are told to be performative at every single step of their lives.
Hmm.
It's
Mm,
always
that's
performance
true.
for men.
who built that society?
Men,
Mm.
Men,
There you go.
men doomed themselves, quite frankly.
yes.
No, well, hold on. Wait. In the West, because in some parts of the East, large parts of the East, women are accumulate. They are a part, they are joined, they're in union. They help the men build society. In the West, women have been separated from the creation process. Now, okay, here's an example. In America, for someone who's lived there for 30 plus years, if you're a woman and you have a child and you divorce the father, the government will subsidize you and help you live your life in America. They'll pay your rent, pay your bills, pay all of those things, but you must get rid of the father.
It's a tactic. That is a big tactic in America where they want to segregate the man from the woman
In the
and
East,
use
in the
the
East, that's a
vulnerability.
no-no. In the East, that's a no-no. That's not happening. You will not benefit. You
Yeah,
will not benefit.
that
They
is
will.
true.
They will make sure you suffer for splitting
Mhm.
up. You will suffer for splitting up. So even if you cheat on the man or the man cheat on you, you know what they're
No.
forcing you to do? Find a way to work it out because you will get
Mhm.
no outside
Hey
help.
man,
Because they support
I don't wanna
the
like
East
get my
support
future visa
family
application
being
denied,
together more than the West.
What do you mean
but
your
the
future piece?
government is 100% at fault here. It is literally brainwashing.
Not
Mm-hmm.
really, no.
The
It's how
No,
government,
no.
society is how
you're talking
society is
about the same
structured.
government that influenced uh shit, what was I gonna say? They experimented on their people and then they forced other countries to experiment on their people and then there's a fucking other
Well,
pandemic
oh,
caused.
come on. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm adding context to what you're saying.
The
You
government
are,
is to be
you
blamed.
are, they're half, they're partially to be blamed.
Partially to be.
Yes,
I'm gonna tell
because
you what.
we let it happen. The family
Thank
let
you.
it
That's
happen.
thank you. I just wanted to make sure that you can't put this all on them because families are letting it happen.
It's
Because you could
happening.
just say you could tell, like my father, when the government said certain things when I was in America, my father's like, "Yeah, that's nice," and I'm like, "So we're not gonna the government can't tell me what to do with my kids." That's how it is, and that's how it is in a lot of countries outside of the United States.
Like
Although,
France.
well, I don't know about all right.
France?
Well, you know something. You know the
France,
only
yeah, France
let's
definitely
stick
is a place that
Yeah, we're
let's
staying
fosters
off of the
family.
yeah
politics and
let,
the
let,
and the
let's
and those
I'm
things for
so
this
sorry.
particular
if we're
podcast.
gonna
Yeah,
say
man, no
something,
problem.
if we're gonna ridicule any countries, let's
Well,
just
my
stick to
future
America
visa still.
because America
Mm-hmm.
is the only country that will allow you to ridicule them. Other countries are not so liberal,
Hmm.
so to speak. So as bad as America is, at least you can complain about it.
You know what?
At
You
least you can complain about
yeah.
What
them.
other country do you want to complain about though? Which other country
Oh
would you
no,
complain about?
as bad as America is, let's not even go there. There are
No, yeah.
countries infinitely worse.
Let's not talk about Russia or North Korea. Where
Oh,
else?
Jesus.
Oh well,
Oh, Lord.
Mercy.
Damn, here we
let,
go.
No,
let's not even. You know something? What was the topic again? Let me
that's
go
not
back to the topic.
even
Let
the
me go
Right,
back to
subject.
the
I
topic.
did
I'm
want to kind
sorry.
of
I'm
I did want to
sorry.
kind of circle back to
Let's,
finish my point,
so
mind you.
last point. So the reason why I brought up this thing about the men because it has everything to do with question 3D, right? Well, whoa. Because we did 3A, 3B, and 3C. We're down to 3D. This is the last
I
part.
mean,
But
I
we.
didn't get to conclude my point.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, I'm
Uh,
sorry. I'm sorry. Jump in.
Damn, I don't even know how to circle back to this. All right, so there was a question asked here. Important question for Nico. Do you think that also happened because of your sort of uptownness, where those type of people strongly disapprove?
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
There is a sense of that. But that was okay. So I don't, as much as I am uptown, I guess, I don't hang around in uptown social circles. The only time I really engage with, you know, people of my demographic tends to be in like family, right? I'm not saying I particularly avoided uptown social circles. I generally just gravitate to people that have similar values in general and have similar interests. And what that meant is that my friend group was diversified, essentially, right? So I did get there was a bit of pushback from that angle, but that was really just like a general opinion that do you fit in here? You know, like are you sure you fit with this group of people essentially from that perspective? But as I said, that's mostly a colorism thing, and it's a really weird dynamic that I have to deal with on a regular basis, right? But with regards to the Valkyries, what I will say, and I continue to say it because people are really stupid sometimes, that um in whatever venture, whatever set of, whenever you join a group of people or a brand or whatever, it's always about working with people and your ability to work with people to a common goal, right? And the different groups I've joined, whether it was Jacked, VOA, ACF, the goal has always been forward movement and getting it done, getting work done, right? And what I can say is that the Valkyries have always been about getting the work done. I cannot remain stagnant. I'm the kind of person that I have to keep doing something. So whether the brand or the group I'm under at the time is active or not, I am active, right? So if I see that something is not working or something is not happening in a group context, I'm like, I'm me personally, I'm gonna just keep moving. I'm gonna keep pushing forward regardless, right? And one of the unique things I think about the Valkyries is that if you push yourself and your brand, um, pushing if you're able to push both yourself and the group forward, you will get results 10 times over, you know? And it's like Blackpink. Easiest example is Blackpink. They're so successful as a group and in their group efforts and the big things they did as a group brand. And then from there, but they're also so strong as solo brands as well. And that people forget that one of the reasons groups don't survive is that people have their own egos, people have their own agendas and don't actually look at the bigger picture. And one of my biggest things is to look at the bigger picture. Push forward on the bigger picture because once whatever you do will always come back to you, good and bad, right? And the more I push and the more the Valkyries are pushed the more the Valkyries are pushed, the more every name attached to the Valkyries, including mine, is pushed. Right? And so it's a win-win situation for me. It's a win-win. So, well, yeah, that's why I've been here for so long.
Oh, and now?
Um, shit.
Like Neko just called us broke. That's wild, RJ. Anyways.
Let me wet the palate. Wait. So
Need to hydrate.
coming into the scene, right? Reverberating. 1 second. Coming into the scene, right? Especially the anime, the cosplay scene. That's where that's how I knew of people before I heard of K-pop. So it was anime first, and then after meeting Asari and the people, that's when I knew about the whole K-pop scene, right? So before that, coming into the scene, introducing my brand, the Valkyries, to the scene, I was fully expecting to hear not. I expected questions, but not to the level of the sex cult, not to the level of you got OnlyFans, not to those levels. Because I'm thinking, yeah, the girls cosplay and we see anime, and the people are some of the waifus are dressed in certain things and they do certain things and it's seen as sexy and that's celebrated. So actually here in Jamaica, where we're all on spicy skin up my boom boom internet, being sexy should be nothing new because we see it every day from between on a social level to on the internet, to businesses working with certain people because of what they do in terms of entertainment, right? So I'm thinking I wouldn't get the pushback that I got, and boy was I wrong. Um, it's really wild because everything that the Valkyries do is categorized. We have time, place, and setting. Okay, You will not see us in bikinis doing a school tour. Come on, people. Why do I have to say that? Everything the Valkyries do have a time and place. So, and everything that we do, even more so, is documented. So you see what is it, why are we doing it, what started it, what are we doing in it, and what do we want to accomplish from it. All of that is explained. The lovely TV feature section on the channel explains all of that. Now, however,
And that's the first thing you see on the channel.
that's the first thing they see on the channel, yeah. But how do I say this nicely? People in the certain people through word of mouth, or for those the few who had the balls to actually say it to my face, they I see it as a form of jealousy and ignorance, because I think it's the first time that they have seen a group as multifaceted as the Valkyries, that we can do so many things successfully, and there's no fallout, there's no breakaway, there's nothing like that. Yes, people come and go, but as a brand, we stick together and we do what needs to get done, and we succeed, and we go further and further and further. So I thought that was what people would focus on, but nah, they just see this one thing that they A, don't understand, and B, don't care to try to understand. And they use that one thing that they already don't understand to pretty much sully the work that we're doing overall. The whole sexy being sexy part of it, are we not in entertainment? Is it looking good a part of entertainment? Would you want to look on something unattractive for fucking hours? I'm being real here. I'm not talking about
And then
shape,
people
sizes,
will
skin
literally
tone,
come and say,
whatever.
"Oh,
Would
these
you
girls
want
are
to
so
look at
ugly."
something unattractive
Right?
for
Can't face
hours?
them.
Would you spend
They
money
would
on
jump if they
No.
look on us, and
that? So the whole point
if
of
we were
it
ugly,
is
they
to
would
put your
jump on
best
us.
foot forward. Regardless of the field that you are in, be it entertainment, be it business, be it whatever, you want to attract something, you make it look good. So us being in the form of entertainment, everything that we do looks good, especially us going to the beach, wearing a bikini, showing ass at the beach, because that's
On a
what
Caribbean
you do
island.
at the beach. The only
On the Caribbean island.
If they were
on a
in
Caribbean
Brazil,
island, you know,
Brazil
I
loves
thought
showing
that
off
was the
their
norm, but
beautiful
clearly we're
bodies.
not.
So
Clearly, we're the first group to go on a beach and show ass. Clearly, beach never invented until we went there. Sexiness never invented until we did it. So us coming in now and doing it, it's clearly, what is this? So I say all of this to say that people, you can always ask questions. Please ask questions, because when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. That's what
Not me,
happens when
no.
you assume. So please ask questions. It's okay to have your reservations about us. It's
Definitely.
fine. You know, we do so much. It's easy to get misunderstood, but don't quickly be so quick to say it's a bad thing. It's a group of girls. And because I'm gonna just put in my earphones for this, because we have sense to actually seek advice from established people before us, who have been doing this thing before us, who
Yeah,
have
we're
the
not slipping and falling
international
into
know-how,
exploitation.
how
We're
to
actually,
make the shit work
checks and
on a
balances.
global level. We're not trying to stay as beautiful as Jamaica is. We're not trying to just be locked to one region. We want to show the world how expansive Jamaica pop entertainment is, and how many cultures are involved, and how can you get involved, and how can we reach out. That's what the point of the Valkyries is. That's why we do so much shit. So I would love, I know it's not gonna stop, because
It's gonna get worse
the
from here.
higher we get
They
in
like to
terms
hate
of
people.
success, you will always have naysayers, you will always have haters, you will always have people who just don't like to see good shit happen. They just like this negativity. So there have to be something.
AKA
Stefaneko
do
have to be
nothing
fucking
bitches.
somebody. For Anastasia, you have to be.
I mean, if it was Nyla, no.
yeah. Oh.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Hey,
She's
Oh,
not
wow.
helping with the
I'm
rumors,
quite
guys.
straight enough, but I mean, if I was leaning that way, but not gonna lie though.
Stop it. Oh God. Jesus. Jesus. So people, please. This discussion is getting very old, and I am not. I will talk about it again because I'm sure
every
the
couple
more that
months,
we do
every couple months we have to,
stuff,
updates. What is the crowd saying now? What is the peanut gallery saying now? Every couple months,
I'll
we
put
just
on
have
a
to,
disguise
now
and I'll go
we have to give
spy.
the peanut gallery their props. They give us nice look at engagement and views and stuff. I have to shout out the
but
peanut gallery here and there.
please stop. Like, do ask questions. Don't judge, please.
I don't. thi-
Impossible.
I don't think they want to ask any questions because in past times you guys had haters come on your stream, and you know how you usually have like people who just want to come derail your stream, troll, and say negative stuff. And the Valkyries have invited them to literally state their displeasure. Like literally, okay, let's have a conversation about what you don't like about us, and let's see if we can come to an understanding. And they don't want to. It's
Yes.
literally just to be destructive.
Exactly. Let's have
Tell
an
us everything you
intelligent
don't like.
conversation.
Post your
Yes.
address.
All right. Well, we're at the
Yeah.
2:30 mark, guys, and I kind of wanted to end it at 2 hours, but then and then also I wanted to end it within 2 hours or 2 hours and 30 minutes. So it's a 2 hour. I'm gonna leave you guys with the one final question, but we're gonna put it in like a wrap up mode. So, what do you think you ladies can do to try to change the perception and limit and marginalize? You can't stop it and try to, or not marginalize, and try to mitigate these these negative things about the Valkyries from the guys. What do you think you can do to help mitigate it?
Honestly, not a damn thing.
I already have a plan.
It does not. It will not change.
It
It will not
includes
change. We
sewing
can
the
do.
clothes,
We'll do.
wearing the clothes, popping my ass in the clothes with a middle finger up. All these things. All of those men that told me that I'd get pimped out are still serial cheaters and psychopaths and people that wanted to control me. So I can't wait for them try to control me when I sew the clothes and pop my ass.
Well,
I
let
can't
me,
wait for Drew to make my clothes. Seriously. I want Drew to make me some merch.
Loch Ness, let me ask you a question. I noticed something you brought up that brought a concerning question. Are these just guys who know about regular standard Jamaican men who just know about the Valkyries through their popular content out the street, or are these guys in the anime, K-pop, cosplay, gaming scene?
Yeah, they're in the post Yu-Gi-Oh tournament anime cosplay scene.
Oh, so these are not. This is not the standard Jamaican. These are not people outside of the scene. This is people in the scene.
In the scene.
Yes, yes.
Interesting.
And I've spoken to people that they've just like seen the stream and they know you guys, and it's just support and it's confusion when they hear that there's something negative going on with you guys. It's all the people that are living the same lifestyle that they accuse you guys of living.
It's entirely projection.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right. So we are. Mal says nothing.
I wasn't done. I was saying that there's nothing that we can do because it's not like what we're doing we need to change anyway. We are already on this path and it's already working. We are cooking so hard this year. We have apparel
Oh, there's
lines.
so much.
We have TV
Oh my
features. There's a
gosh, there's so
freaking
much
Inter
going on this
Caribbean tour coming out. We're
Mhm.
trying to build bridges between different countries to be one. What a word the name I love say conglomerate. One Caribbean big
Yikes.
ratted conglomerate. So no big
I know where
words.
that word came from too. But
We are doing so many things, and you will still have people you know, say you have to go fuck somebody for going to the Valkyrie still, you know, yeah, them still out there of OnlyFans. I could have swore, like I saw, you know, I could have swore I saw OnlyFans. I know now is in OnlyFans that she's gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Did you know that fun fact? I am very reserved.
Now it's
This
just
is
it's
a
just
part of
sunshine
the
and
job,
rainbows, guys. Come on. Like she
and
could
I
not hurt a
understand.
fly.
Before,
She's a
because
baby.
I
Why
see
would anybody want to hurt a fly?
I see Marcy ready to go. I just want to say something. Fun fact. This is a fun fact. Someone contacted Niall and said, "I didn't know you did um, sexy content for Twitter." And we was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And they sent us a Twitter profile of someone impersonating Niall. Took her thumbnail, a picture off of Instagram, made a Twitter of it. It doesn't show, it's stupid because it shows her Forever Summer videos and it says want nudes or sex videos, DM me. And
Oh
we was
no.
no, we just contacted Twitter and said that's a fake account.
Yeah, it got
And
reported
it got
long
reported
time.
and it got removed.
Can
But
you imagine all the AI deepfakes?
Oh
no, this was
boy,
before AI. This was like what, 3 years ago?
we were in court.
We were in court. Yeah, it was definitely 3 years ago. So
Oh
yeah,
God.
so it was like 3 years ago. But
Yeah.
yeah, when that happened, so people who ask, "Do you guys have an OnlyFans?" The answer the Valkyries always tells them is this: go on OnlyFans and look it up. If you find it, congratulations,
show
go
me.
to work. If you don't, that answers the question. Because it's
Go
like,
to work.
what else would they be going to OnlyFans for? I'm just keeping it a buck. That they want the Valkyries to have an OnlyFans so they can actually
So
do that.
bad, and I don't get why.
They want to justify their hatred. That is really what
Yes,
it
yes,
is.
they do,
They
and they
want a
can.
concrete reason to justify their hatred, and right now they don't have a concrete reason.
All right, Marcy, your turn. What do you think the Valkyries can do to mitigate these
Uh,
rumors?
well, I just feel like if the girls are comfortable in their own skin, if they feel comfortable, if they are like they're not bothered by it, then why change a good thing? Because you're always gonna have people criticizing. You're always gonna have criticism. But what the girls can do is just take from the criticism, get a little thicker skin because at the end of the day, it's still publicity, well, negative, but there's always ways to change things into a more positive aspect. And it's always good to like educate others about what the Valkyries stand for. So if there is something negative that's been brought about, obviously it's good to just, make it known. Like what we're doing now. I love that this is here, this platform is here so that we can set the record straight or the girls can set the record straight on what actually goes on in the Valkyries and what the Valkyries actually do. So yeah, I just think that's something.
Okay, and Neko, we'll get the last is on you.
Um, I like to use Blackpink as an example, not because of just the fact that I'm fans of them, but they're literally the biggest girl group in the world. Um, and the best thing, the opinions will not stop. They will simply get worse, right? They will get worse. But what will happen as the Valkyries continue as a brand, continue to continuously do good work and continuously focus on the work and producing quality work, right? The positive opinions will get louder than the negative ones. The negative ones will just get worse because that's just how popularity works. What negative opinions, popularity, they go hand in hand, right? But continuing to do good work and stuff levels up the positive as well. The positive opinions will become, well, to be honest, right now the positive opinions are the majority. A couple years ago, but at this point in time in the Valkyries brand and stuff, positive opinions are the majority, right? And that will continue to be a trend as we continue to do what we do best.
Prove the haters wrong.
And do a cake sale.
Ooh,
Yes, food. We love food.
food.
Okay,
Honestly,
well,
I want us to get more haters. Fuck them.
I say they will always be there, and they will always be around. They out here fueling that engagement and stuff, right?
In
That's
the
why we
words
gotta
of
every couple months we gotta acknowledge their existence. Every couple months we gotta be like, say y'all are assholes, but at least y'all are here.
yeah,
Right?
when you're
They're still
down,
watching the
and you feel
content.
like
They're
you
still
wanna
here.
relax, you work extra hard to
You work.
spite
They're
them.
working hard. They're working hard. But the girls work harder. Valkyries work harder. Come on now.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Um.
I can't wait. I need
So
50 more people hating me by the end of next week.
That's
all right.
so bad.
on
It's so bad.
another productive news for the haters who always think we on some bullshit. So here's what's coming up next. We're speaking only to the naysayers, right? Because the Valkyries don't do nothing but sell us. So here's what's gonna cook for February, right? February, we are having the Forever Summer Valentine's special. A lot of things is going on. We want to touch on the crochet swimwear that will be revealed in February. Zuri and I were cooking just to show you what taste of what is to come. And Anastasia being the seamstress that she is, we're going to involve her in it somewhere. We're going to be cooking with her as well. We're going to be doing a TV shoot at the retreat, a special bed lounge gaming Valentine special with a special Real Waifu Hours podcast in person. So that would be interesting. And also we have the LOL Snack Stop meetup on the Valentine's weekend. We're gonna, as for the exact date, of course, we'll let you guys know. February is on the 14th. It's on the 14th. So we will be at LOL Snack Stop. We'll be behind the counter making the TikToks. We'll be streaming, interacting with you guys. We'll giving away candy bags for different things. So if you want to meet the Valkyries and get some candy and actually ask questions to our face and not just on the internet, please come to these meetups. Thank you. That's how we have them, guys.
Okay, on that note, we went a little bit over, almost 3 hours. Well, thank you, ladies, for coming out. Sorry, kind of went over a little bit longer. Could have ended it, but we got into a different topic. But that's good. That's a good thing. We did about 2 hours and 50 minutes going on right now. Thank you, Loch Ness. Thank you, Marcy, Silver Neko, and Empress Now for episode 2 of the Valkyries of Arcadia Real Waifu Hours. We will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
So hot, we're switching out the smoke alarms. Got lost, but I feel my way into your arms. Love how you creep into my wildest thoughts. Something about you, boy. Something about you, boy. We're only one kiss away, my body can't hit the brakes. One touch, it escalates out. The dirty talking, it turns to play. We're all out of things to say. It's too late, we can't escape out.